Chapter 62. Li Fan woke up early again. After practicing martial arts, he didn't have the habit of lazing in bed. Although he maintained a vigilant heart, as long as there was no abnormality in the surroundings, he could sleep peacefully. When he woke up in the morning, Li Fan was full of energy and felt that his dantian was full of qi. The continuous battle last night had indeed consumed a lot of internal energy. But after a nap, it was replenished. If Muronging knew about this, she would probably be envious to death. This was because normal martial artists like them would need to meditate and cultivate to replenish their inner energy if they lost it. For example, Muronging herself, because Li Fan had sucked away her essential energy for 11 years, she often had to retreat at home and meditate continuously to recover her essential energy. As for Li Fan, with his pure young body, he could recover his internal energy just by sleeping. This was something that they could not be envious of. When Li Fan woke up, Muronging was still meditating and teasing. After all, it consumed a lot of internal energy to heal Taizhu. This girl, she actually started to sleep in. Li Fan saw that Taizhu and Muronging had not woken up for the first time in thousands of years. However, there was breakfast on the table, which should have been made by Taizhu. Li Fan wolfed down a few buns, put on his shoes, and went out. To his surprise, the iron shoes were gone, and there was a note on the shoe cabinet. Foot strength has been achieved. From today on, you don't need to wear iron shoes. Damn, Muronging actually relaxed the policy for me. Tears streamed down Li Fan's face. He thought to himself, I've finally made it. After understanding the 5 animals' combined attack technique, Li Fan roughly understood that his physical training had reached a limit. Martial artists cultivated both internal and external martial arts. In the future, as long as he maintained normal physical training, he could meet the needs of external martial arts. From now on, what he needed to do was to cultivate internal energy. The stronger the internal energy, the more powerful he could become. However, after bidding farewell to the iron shoes, Li Fan should think of a way to strengthen his white deer reverse kick door. As he put on his Converse canvas shoes, he thought about how to make up for his fatal move. Without iron shoes, he could only use Shinqi as a substitute. How could he make his true qi as strong as steel? Li Fan put on his shoes and left the house, still thinking about this matter. As promised, he went to Lin Yuhsian's house on the way. He came out earlier today, but Lin Yuhsian hadn't gone out yet. Li Fan paced back and forth below her building. His eyes couldn't help but fall on an abandoned telephone pole next to her.
If the vital energy was compressed together, according to the characteristics of the higher the density, the higher the quality, would it make the vital energy as hard as steel? Thinking of this, Li Fan could not help but want to give it a try. He circulated the true qi in his body at a high speed, and then flowed into his right foot. At this moment, Li Fan felt that his right foot had become especially heavy. The true qi seemed to have a physical form. It was heavy and squeezed together, making Li Fan's right foot feel like it was wearing an iron shoe again. Not just a pair of iron shoes. Now the weight of his right foot was 10 times heavier than the iron shoes. There's a chance. Li Fan was a little excited. He used this heavy foot to kick the abandoned telephone pole. However, although Li Fan had a good idea, the actual situation was out of his expectations. This kick had not even reached the position of the telephone pole, but the condensed vital energy on his foot had already dispersed. When Li Fan's foot kicked the telephone pole, the vital energy almost dissipated, leaving only a little bit, which kicked off the dust on the telephone pole. Fuck, what's going on? Li Fan was stunned for a moment. Obviously he did not expect such an outcome. It seems that at the moment of making a move, the vital energy condensed on my foot will also disperse. Li Fan thought for a moment, since that's the case, I can't condense all the vital energy on my foot, but leave a part to control this part of the vital energy. Li Fan divided half of his vital energy, so that the remaining half of the vital energy on his foot would not disperse. This time there should be no problem. He turned around, and suddenly kicked with his right foot. White deer reverse kick. Li Fan's right foot seemed to bring a black light, and then kicked the abandoned telephone pole. Bang! This large part of the telephone pole was directly broken by Li Fan's kick. Fortunately, the wires above had already been cut, otherwise Li Fan's kick would have caused a lot of damage. Such a loud sound attracted a lot of people to watch the show. Li Fan was not stupid, he retreated far away, pretending to watch the show. Aya, this place is really getting more and more dangerous. When can we add some money to the demolition? The people around them began to discuss spiritedly, as if they were all worried about their safety. And Lin Yuhsan, wearing that familiar school uniform, came out from her house. Seeing the fallen telephone pole, that pair of beautiful eyebrows could not help but wrinkle. But seeing Li Fan, her eyebrows loosened. You're quite early today. Lin Yuhsan glanced at her watch. You came half an hour early? No, I just arrived. Li Fan is an honest child, but when he said that, Lin Yuhsan became unhappy. I told you to come half an hour early, why didn't you listen? My sister, I also need to sleep, okay?
Li Fan could not help but ridicule. Now I sleep later than the dog, and wake up earlier than the chicken. Do you think it's easy for me? Humph, not thinking of progress. Lin Yuhsan ruthlessly looked at Li Fan. If you don't work hard, no girl will like you. What are you afraid of? Li Fan waved his hand. Isn't it fine as long as I have you as my girlfriend? Go to hell, who wants to be your girlfriend? Lin Yuhsan firmly emphasized, it's 1 week, 1 week, okay? No, there's only 5 days left. 5 days is also good. Li Fan casually said, if two people love each other for a long time, why would they stay day and night? Humph, who wants to stay day and night with you? Then let's make the bed. You're asking for a beating. Lin Yuhsan stretched out her hand and made a 360-degree turn on Li Fan's waist. But Li Fan's true chi automatically condensed on his waist, and Lin Yuhsan was unable to twist it. Hateful. She unhappily looked at Li Fan. Your flesh is so hard. Your skin is really thick. Yes, 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 my little Dr. Lin, whatever you say. Can we go now? Forget it, I won't pursue this matter anymore. I'll give you a chance to please me. Lin Yuhsan handed the bicycle to Li Fan, and she sat behind Li Fan with familiarity. This time, Lin Yuhsan's palm lightly rested on Li Fan's waist, and the two of them seemed to be more familiar with each other. Thank you, Miss Lin, for the reward. Li Fan asked with a smile, Miss Lin, can we set off now? Let's go. Her Highness is leaving the palace. Li Fan stared at the bicycle and shouted, irrelevant people, be careful to avoid it. The two of them had just ridden for a distance when Lin Yuhsan suddenly exclaimed as if she had seen a ghost, not good. Chapter 63. I don't know what Lin Yuhsan saw, but she's so surprised. It's broad daylight, could it be that she saw a ghost? Li Fan can't help but ridicule, but at this time, Lin Yuhsan suddenly buries her face on Li Fan's back, as if she really wants to hide from someone. In front of him is a middle-aged woman who is repairing a small cart. She looks quite pretty, but she seems to have aged a lot after being exposed to the wind and sun. If it was 20 years ago, she should also be a beauty. On the cart, there is a set of equipment for selling pancakes. It seems like the wheel is broken somewhere and is being repaired. Li Fan came out in a hurry in the morning and only ate a few buns, so he is not full yet. Now that there is someone selling pancakes, the worms in his stomach are hooked out. Auntie, do you sell pancakes? Li Fan asked. Of course. The auntie wiped her hands and said, "Usually, I don't sell here, but my car has some problems today, so I can only set up a stall here." "That's a coincidence, it means that we are fated." Li Fan reaches into his pocket, and there is still 7 yuan left. The rest of the money is with Huang Lei, and his 7 yuan is the leftover from selling water. "Auntie, give me a pancake, add an egg and a sausage." "How much?" 8 yuan. The auntie puts on her gloves and starts to heat up the pan. Li Fan embarrassedly takes out a bunch of broken bills. "Auntie. This. I only have 7 yuan. It's okay, you can pass." The auntie is very generous. Nowadays, young people are growing, so they need to eat more to grow well. "Little brother, are you bringing your sister to school?" Li Fan felt Lin Yuhsan's body slightly tremble, and then her right hand slowly rotates around his waist. "Fuck, why are you pinching me? What is the meaning of this? Why do I not understand?" "Little brother." "Ah, auntie, she's not my sister. She's my boyfriend." Li Fan laughed. The auntie was also amused by him. Look at you kids. You're already dating at such a young age. How can your studies be good?" "Auntie, you can't say that. It's a pure revolutionary love." Li Fan spouted nonsense. "There's no such evil stuff between us, only the purest love. Not like those young couples nowadays, cuddling and kissing each other. What a sight. My girlfriend and I even blush when we hold hands." Feeling that the hand on his waist was changing again, Li Fan remained calm and collected. In any case, he had true qi to protect his body. This little difficulty was nothing. He could overcome it. How rare. As the auntie spread out the pancake, she said, "It's really rare for a child to have your awareness nowadays. Then won't your studies be affected if you're dating? We help each other in life and encourage each other in study." Li Fan loudly said, "Our goal is to enter Peking University and Tsinghua University. Then we'll enter the marriage hall and have 8 to 10 children." The movement of the waist is big again. Li Fan, hold on. Not bad. Then auntie will support you. I'll give you an extra ham sausage. The auntie smiled and said, "But how come I don't see your little boyfriend?" "Auntie, she's a good girl. She's a bit shy." Li Fan also smiled. "Auntie, don't be offended. It's all right. She's a little girl. Looking at her, I can't help but think of my daughter. Looking at your uniforms, you should be from second high school. Sometimes I'm worried that she'll have puppy love in school. As a mother, it's not easy to feel at ease." "Auntie, how's your daughter's studies?" "Good. She's always good. She's never made me worry." "Then auntie, what's there to worry about? As long as her studies are good. In our school, studying well is a privilege. Not to mention dating, the teachers don't even care if she fights." That won't do. Knowledge is important, but being a person is more important." The auntie passed the pancake to Li Fan. "All right, I won't nag anymore. Don't disturb your class. Eat slowly on the way. Be careful of the bike." "Thank you, auntie." "Goodbye, auntie." Li Fan hung the pancake on the handlebar and pedaled away. "Auntie, your sister, auntie." After riding for a distance, Lin Yuhsan finally raised her head and hammered Li Fan's back. "What's the matter, my little Dr. Lin? Why are you angry?" "That's my mom." "Fuck." Li Fan almost rode his bike into the ditch. "Then why didn't you say so earlier? I didn't even greet our mom properly." "Screw you. It's my mom. Not our mom." Lin Yuhsan pinched Li Fan's ear with one hand. "What nonsense are you thinking? If my mom knows that I'm dating, I'm done for. Isn't this a drill? Everything is for little Dr. Lin's career. Humph, that's not what you said just now. Lin Yuhsin pouted. What pure revolutionary love. Holding hands and you're blushing. Why aren't you blushing? Little Dr. Lin, you might not understand my physiological structure. Li Fan said in a serious manner. My skin is thicker than the average person. So when I blush, it's hard to tell. Fuck you. Lin Yuhsin said angrily, you're so thick-skinned and you're still in the right. What can I do? I'm born with thick skin. How can I despise myself? Li Fan sighed. Little Dr. Lin, I have mental illness all over my body. You have to take a good look at me. Humph, you're still in the mood to joke around. I just received some bad news. Lin Yuhsin grabbed Li Fan's waist and said. I heard from a junior high school classmate that the devil teacher, Chang Chuanxi, was poached to our school with a high price. Chang Chuanxi? Who? Li Fan has never heard of him. My God. You don't even know Chang Chuanxi. The students in the school are scared to death of him. Lin Yuhsin exclaimed. There was a class in the school that was full of bad students who were particularly difficult to manage. This class has always been regarded as the devil class by the school. They always threw those ignorant and incompetent students into it. Later, the class became more and more chaotic, so the school looked for this teacher, Chang Chuanxi. He was known as the devil. But in just a month, he managed the class in order. Why did our school hire him? Needless to say. Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan as if she was looking at an idiot. Of course it's for you. Ha! My reputation is really big. Li Fan heard this and couldn't help but laugh. I want to see if Chang Chuanxi is the devil or I am the scarier one. Stop it. Behave yourself in school. Don't mess around. Lin Yuhsin advised Li Fan. Don't get expelled. Didn't you just say that you want to go to Tsinghua University together? Chapter 64. I'll just say it, and you'll just listen. Everyone will laugh and pretend nothing happened. Li Fan was speechless. With my results, how can I get into Tsinghua or Peking University? Roasted sweet potatoes are more like it. With my conduct, even if I were to get into Lansheng Vocational School, I would only be guaranteed entry. Speaking of which, is tonight's date still valid? Li Fan suddenly thought of an important matter and quickly asked. Go to hell. What date? It's clearly supplementary lessons. Lin Yuhsin was so angry that she pinched Li Fan's ear again, causing Li Fan to grimace. Even if true energy could be trained to the ear, it wouldn't be as abundant as the muscles. Being pinched by Lin Yuhsin was really painful. Yes, supplementary lessons. Whether I can get into Tsinghua or not will depend on teacher Lin's guidance. Your current results, what's your ranking? Lin Yuhsin couldn't help but ask. There were a total of 500 plus students. To get into Tsinghua or Peking University, only the top 10 could do it. Private number 2 high school's enrollment rate was still not bad. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many parents who would risk their lives to send their children here. My results are still quite stable. Li Fan was brimming with confidence. Oh. Then what's your ranking? I've always been around 500. Lin Yuhsin nearly vomited blood. She wished she could kick Li Fan out of the car. Your sister. Then it'll be a miracle if you can get into Tsinghua or Peking University. You can't say that. Li Fan immediately became serious. I'm a man with potential and courage. As long as I'm willing, the 500 plus ranking is just a matter of minutes for me. You really know how to talk nonsense. Lin Yuhsin was angered to the point of laughing. This Li Fan really knew how to talk. Anyway, I've already told you. The rest is up to you. No matter what, don't go against the school. I'll try my best. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. I hope they don't provoke me. Otherwise, I won't be polite to them. What's the use of doing this? Lin Yuhsin was extremely anxious. Is this the time to say such things? Do you really want to be fired? Who wants to be fired? But I don't want to be a coward. Li Fan said arrogantly, although we are students, the school can't bully us too much. Since you're a student, you should listen to your teacher. Lin Yuhsin said, otherwise, how can I go to university? University is just a choice for our future. Li Fan emphasized, you can't choose to submit to violence just to go to university. Succumb to evil. Comrade Shaolin, you have to carry the banner of the red scarf, don't let the enemy corrupt our spirit. It has worn down our willpower. Forget it. You're making it sound like we're going to war, we need to have a rebellious spirit. Li Fan said seriously, if the teachers and the school treat me well, treat me as a real student, teach me knowledge, and help me grow. I have nothing else to say. I'll just buy a big banner and hang it up for them. But look at our school, is it like that? Let's not talk about the difference in treatment. Let's talk about the supplementary lessons during the holidays. 50 yuan for one lesson, 800 yuan for one holiday. Did he give us a lecture during the supplementary lessons? Didn't he make us do our own papers? Is this still a lesson? This is daylight robbery. It's not right to charge randomly. Who asked us to be students? Just bear with it and it will be over soon. Why do we have to stand out? Lin Yuhsin advised. Yes, everyone thinks so. Li Fan was quite disdainful. You bear with it, I also bear with it. That's why the school has become like this. Anyway, if you don't resist, I will. If you don't stand out, I will. I want to see if I can beat the school. Don't give me that. With your IQ, you want to mess with the school. What's wrong with my IQ? It's very high, okay? I'm usually humble and low-key. If I want to study hard, I can be the first in the grade. I just don't want to compete with you. Really? Lin Yuhsin sat on the back of the bicycle, swinging her long legs. She rolled her eyes and suddenly asked. Then I'll give you an IQ question. Come on. If there are two people stranded on a deserted island, one named I love you and the other named I don't love you, what kind of stupid names are these? Don't interrupt. Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes at Li Fan. If one day, I don't love you dies, what's the name of the remaining person? I love you. Yes, I knew it. Look, you've been plotting against me. Lin Yuhsin was like a victorious hen, her neck raised high. Fuck, you're a big scam. Li Fan was speechless. There's actually such a joke. Hee hee, that's why I said you're a fool. Alright, let's stop here. I'll see you tonight. 2 streets away from the school, Lin Yuhsin called out to Li Fan. Alright, Li Fan was also speechless. This lass's IQ was too high. If he played IQ questions with her, he would obviously lose. Sigh, when he was born, his IQ points were not enough. He bade farewell to Lin Yuhsin and entered the school alone. What surprised him was that the school's security was changed. The old, weak, sick, and disabled people of the past were gone. 2 muscular men stood at the door, looking like door gods. When the surrounding students saw them, they were all scared and avoided them. However, Li Fan put his hands in his pockets and swaggered in from the main entrance. When he was walking to class, his phone rang. It was Muronging. Why was this woman looking for him? Could it be that she missed him so early in the morning? Hello, wife, did you miss me? Li Fan picked up the phone and turned on his flirting mode. No. But the voice on the other end of the phone was so cold that it could freeze a person to death. Li Fan sighed. It was too difficult to flirt with Muronging. This Wulin chief's brain was too different from a normal woman's. Then why are you calling? I'm just reminding you that I won't be in school these 2 days. There's no one to protect you. Calm down and don't cause trouble. Muronging kindly reminded him, I heard that the principal has sent people to deal with you. Am I that easy to deal with? Li Fan curled his lips, have some confidence in your husband, okay? With my IQ, I can beat you in seconds. Did you take the wrong medicine today? Fuck, you're the one who took the wrong medicine. If you don't believe me, I'll give you a question. Li Fan recalled the IQ question that Lin Yuhsian had mentioned. He grabbed the phone and said, one day, 2 brothers were stranded on a deserted island. One said, I love you, and the other said, I don't love you. Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck and killed, I don't love you. Let me ask you, what's the name of the remaining person? Survivor. Muronging said lightly. Li Fan almost smashed the phone. Fuck, this is not following the script. Li Fan was holding his breath when he heard a shout from the front. Which class are you from? Cell phones are not allowed in school. Chapter 65. Li Fan looked up and saw an unfamiliar dark fatty shouting at him. Who are you? Li Fan didn't know this man. Where did this big brother come from? I'm a new teacher in the school. I'm also responsible for the school's discipline. The dark fatty took out a work permit and put it on his neck. My name is Chang Chuanxi. You can call me Teacher Chang. At the same time, I'm also the school's discipline director. You can also call me Director Chang. Chang Chuanxi. This is the man. Okay, your phone has been confiscated. Chang Chuanxi said as he reached out to grab Li Fan's phone. But with Li Fan's skill, how could he grab it? He just took a step back and dodged Chang Chuanxi's palm. You still dare to resist? Chang Chuanxi furrowed his brows and questioned. Why can't I resist? Li Fan asked back, first of all, the school didn't say that mobile phones are not allowed. It only said that it's not allowed in class. And now, I'm in the corridor, right? Secondly, the school's rule is that mobile phones are not allowed in class. Now it's not time for class. I didn't violate any of the 2 rules. Why did you confiscate my phone? You're quite sharp-tongued. Chang Chuanxi looked up and down at Li Fan. His tone was very bad. I, Chang Chuanxi, have been a teacher for more than 20 years. I've seen all kinds of thorns. Thorns like you, I've seen a lot. Don't give me this crap. Age, class, name. I've been in school for more than 10 years. I've seen a lot of bully teachers. You're not a big deal. Li Fan snorted, my name is Li Fan, 2nd year, 2nd class. You're Li Fan. Hearing this name, Chang Chuanxi seemed to be stunned for a moment. He looked at Li Fan for a few more times. Yes, that's me. Li Fan secretly thought, it seems like this guy is indeed coming for me. He truly lives up to his reputation as a thorn. Chang Chuanxi crossed his arms and sneered. It doesn't matter. We will meet again soon. Ignorant and incompetent students like you are a scourge if you stay in the school. Sooner or later, I will find a reason to expel a scum like you. Aya, how can we do that? Li Fan enthusiastically said, a teacher like you is the most welcomed by me. We still have to get to know each other better. I hope teacher can teach me more. A student like you is hopeless. There's nothing to teach you. Chang Chuanxi said disdainfully, enjoy your last moments in school, because very soon, you will be kicked out of this school. If bad students like you are no longer around, the school's enrollment rate will be higher. This stupid teacher couldn't afford to be poor at all. Li Fan couldn't be bothered with him anymore. He was simply a lunatic. Goodbye then, Teacher Chang. Li Fan turned around and left. He wouldn't hand over his phone. He didn't break any school rules, so why should he hand over his phone? From today onwards, I will use this pair of eyes to keep a close eye on you. Chang Chuanxi gestured with his hands over his eyes and shouted at Li Fan's back, you'd better tuck your tail between your legs. Scum! Li Fan swallowed his anger. Why don't you dig your eyeballs out and put them in my pocket? After all, he was still a student. Li Fan kept his phone and returned to class. Just as he entered the classroom, Li Fan saw his desk mate. However, Little Four, who was usually low-key, was a little special today. Because the right side of his face was swollen and one of his glasses was broken. This was impossible for Bai Lin Luo, who was usually very concerned about his image. What's wrong? Although he wasn't a girl, Little Four's eyes were as delicate as a girl's. Ugh, it definitely wasn't because of such an evil reason. After all, they were desk mates. Li Fan couldn't help but show some concern. No, nothing, Little Four's eyes were a little evasive. He fiddled with the papers on his desk, but he wasn't in the mood to answer them. Who hit you? Tell me. Li Fan was a little uncomfortable. Even if you hit a dog, you should look at its owner. Ugh, it wasn't appropriate to compare him to his own dog. Anyway, how could his desk mate be hit just because someone said so? I'm really fine. Li Fan. It's almost time for the exam. How's your revision going? Bai Lin Luo tried to change the topic, but Li Fan frowned and asked, who hit you? Little Four Eyes, didn't you perform quite well when you were fighting against the PE teacher? Why are you scared now? Even if I tell you, it's useless. Bai Lin Luo's eyes were a little red. He took off his glasses and rubbed his eyes. I'm not good enough. If you don't tell me, you'll be beaten up every day. Li Fan persistently asked, last time's incident has made me look at you in a different light. Little Four, are you willing to be bullied every day? I don't want to, but what can I do? Bai Lin Luo rolled up his sleeves and showed his skinny arms. You see, I don't even have the strength to truss a chicken. It's impossible to resist. It's more likely that I'll be beaten. How can a man show weakness? Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. Tell me, who did it? I'm your desk mate. Are you not even willing to tell me? It's useless to tell you. No one can control him. Bai Lin Luo sighed. Why are you dawdling? Do you want your other glasses to be smashed too? Ugh, it's Hua Dehong, little tyrant. Li Fan had heard of this name before. It was said that Wang Chang was the school's tyrant, but compared to this Hua Dehong, Wang Chang was simply a gentle little lady. Hua Dehong was practically a tyrant in the school. With a few hoodlums around him, he was lawless. Even the previous Lu Xiaoli had to avoid him when he saw him. There's no other way. After all, his father was the principal. Why did he beat you? He asked me to borrow money, but I don't have it anymore. Bai Lin Luo lowered his head and said, this month's money was taken by them. Mom thought I spent it recklessly and stopped my allowance. Hua Dehong also said. If I don't pay up, he'll beat me. Fuck, this bunch of sons of bitches. Li Fan was furious. He was about to say a few more words when the classroom door was pushed open. The black fatty Chang Chuanxi walked in. The noisy classroom immediately turned silent. Chang Chuanxi directly wrote his name on the blackboard and went straight to the topic. From today onwards, I'm your class teacher. Chang Chuanxi placed his hands on the desk like a gorilla. In my classroom, I will absolutely not leave any dregs. All of you here are no longer in the 9 years of compulsory education. If you make a mistake, I have the right to expel you. After a month, I hope there will still be half of the people left here. As he said that, his eyes fell on Li Fan and those dregs. I will definitely get rid of them. Chapter 66. Many students knew of Chang Chuanxi's famous name. How could the devil teacher from number 1 middle school be hired here? Only Li Fan knew that this was directed at him. But it didn't matter. Counter soldiers with arms and water with an earth weir. Grandpa Mao said it well. When the spring wind blows, who is afraid of who in this world? Thinking of this, Li Fan raised his hand high. In short, in my class, no one can make trouble. Do you understand? Chang Chuanxi acted as if he didn't see Li Fan's raised hand and continued, all the troublemakers better listen to me. If you don't listen to me, get out of my class. Li Fan's hand was still raised high, almost blocking the sight of the students in the back row. Li Fan, what's the matter? Can't you let everyone study properly? Teacher, Bai Lin Luo was beaten. Li Fan didn't care about this guy's dissatisfaction and said loudly, Teacher, please help him. He was hit. Who hit him? Chang Chuanxi seemed to be a little impatient. He was beaten by Hua Dehong. Why didn't he beat me? Chang Chuanxi curled his lips. All right, all of you pay attention to the class. Teacher, aren't your words too irresponsible? Li Fan stood up and asked directly, Did you hear that it was the principal's son who beat him up and you don't dare to do anything? Li Fan, what do you mean? Chang Chuanxi frowned deeply. This is only the first day and this guy already wants to challenge my authority. I hope teacher can help your student. Li Fan didn't give in. Bai Lin Luo was beaten up. Don't tell me teacher doesn't care. Li Fan, stop pestering me endlessly. Go out and stand. Don't attend the morning class. Go out and reflect on yourself. In my class, I still have this little bit of authority. Chang Chuanxi directly drove Li Fan out of the classroom. Bai Lin Luo couldn't bear to look at Li Fan. If it wasn't for him, Li Fan wouldn't have been punished. I won't take this lying down. Li Fan clenched his fists and said as he passed by the podium. Chang Chuanxi also sneered, Some students, their results are really not good enough. If you don't pass all the subjects in this mock test, you'll be fired. These words were definitely targeted at Li Fan. It seemed that the school was bent on expelling him. Humph, I won't let them get what they want. However, after throwing himself out of the classroom, he missed a whole morning of lessons and missed a lot of lessons. Anyway, he usually didn't listen to the lectures, so he might as well watch how Lin Yuhsien would tutor him at night. You really don't let me rest. Li Fan crossed his arms and leaned against the classroom door. He was somewhat worried about Bai Lin Luo's matter. Since the school didn't want to make a decision for him, then he could only do it himself. Was his deskmate someone he could bully as he pleased? Li Fan stood at the classroom door, closing his eyes to rest, adjusting his breath. As a martial artist, in addition to exercising his body, strengthening his internal force was also an indispensable step. Usually, Li Fan only cared about exercising his body but neglected to cultivate his internal force. After all, his internal force was plundered from Murong Ying's 11 years of true qi, which allowed Li Fan to enjoy endless benefits. But after all, it was other people's true qi. From now on, Li Fan had to cultivate his own true qi. He sunk his qi into his dantian. A stream of true qi hovered in his dantian. According to the breathing method of 5 animal frolics, Li Fan let this stream of qi flow along the meridians in his body in order. Cultivating internal force was a slow process. Letting the true qi circulate 49 times in the body was a minor circulation, while circulating 81 minor circulation was a major circulation. The internal force of 5 animal frolics was divided into 5 stages. Right now, Li Fan only had 11 years of true qi, but his internal force was only at the first stage. If he wanted to truly become stronger, his internal force had to be improved. Although there were only 5 stages in 5 animal frolics, the improvement from each stage was several times greater than the previous one. To master the first stage, Li Fan needed to cultivate 108 major circulation. A normal person would need to concentrate on cultivating for an entire day before they could barely circulate their true qi to 1 major circulation. Therefore, there were often experts who went into seclusion to cultivate in order to concentrate on raising their inner force cultivation. Of course, these were all taught to him by Muronging. Relying on her 11 years of true qi, Li Fan only cared about training his body. He couldn't always stay at the point of perfection. He had to improve. Li Fan muttered in his heart. It seemed like he had to first cultivate to the first stage of 5 animal frolics. He stood outside the classroom, surrounded by the sound of students reading in the morning. Some of the classes were reciting the text, while others were reading English. But the moment Li Fan calmed his heart, the surrounding noise seemed to be far away from him. The true qi in his body started from his dantian and passed through the 8 extraordinary meridians. Let's first circulate a minor circulation. This should be a very slow process. Li Fan was already prepared. But the moment he closed his eyes, the true qi in his body was like a rocket, instantly circulating 1 round along his meridians. This, in the blink of an eye, he completed a minor circulation. This was a little abnormal. Li Fan couldn't help but mutter in his heart. Was it because of the pure yang body? He remembered Muronging said that the pure yang body's internal force cultivation speed was only 2 times that of an ordinary person. But mine, it wasn't as simple as 2 times. It was as swift and violent as a cheat. Li Fan thought for a moment. It was probably because of his pure yang body and 11 years of true qi. It was like there was a big pit in his body. Muronging had already given him a lot of pool water. Today, she had completely poured the pool water into the pit. That was why it was so fast. To put it in a more understandable analogy, it was like he had an experience pool, which had accumulated a huge amount of experience. In the past, he didn't want to level up. But now he wanted to level up. As long as he consumed the experience pool, he could level up quickly. Li Fan's mind was completely immersed in his body. The huge amount of true qi was circulating rapidly in his body. In just an hour, Li Fan had already entered the first stage of 5 animal frolics. With his own internal force, the feeling was different. At this moment, Li Fan seemed to have become more sensitive. The voices around him once again entered his ears and were pushed out of his consciousness by Li Fan. Because it was several times, the experience required for the second stage of 5 animal frolics was only twice that of the first stage. In one morning, Li Fan had his strength break through to the second stage of 5 animal frolics. To break through to the third stage of 5 animal frolics, he might really have to concentrate on cultivation. However, Li Fan didn't have this time now. Because the bell had rung, he had to rush to see Huang Lei. Don't use a suspicious person, don't suspect a person you use. Although it was a huge sum of 200,000, Li Fan believed in Huang Lei. If he really ran away with the money, he would just treat it as spending money to buy a lesson for himself. Huang Lei, don't let me down.
Chapter 67. As soon as Li Fan entered the billiard hall, he was stunned. Huang Lei was wearing a yellow robe that no one knew where he had borrowed it from. He was holding a peachwood sword in his hand and waving it around in the billiards hall. The students who came to play were so frightened that they hid at the side, not daring to come forward. He was obviously dressed like a Taoist priest, but his mouth was muttering as if he was dancing. "Lei, what are you doing? Did you take the wrong medicine again?" Li Fan could not help but reprimand him. "This guy, he's always nagging. Big brother, you're here." When Huang Lei saw Li Fan, he immediately put away his swindler appearance and eagerly said, "I'm asking the gods to exorcise the evil." "Big brother, wait a moment. Exorcise my ass." Li Fan rolled his eyes. "What era is this? Don't show off the feudal system." "Big brother is right," Huang Lei quickly said, "but this set of ancestors thing still has some truth. Especially after I did my divination today, it said that today is not conducive for a transaction. So I set up an array, ready to break it for us." "Break your sister, less nonsense, let's get down to business." Li Fan's lunch break was not long, he had to quickly solve this matter. "Okay, Big Brother has the final say." Huang Lei pulled a big bag from his waist, which was full of money. "Last night I spent 30,000. Now there's only 170,000 left." Huang Lei put the bag on the billiard table. "Big brother, do you want to count?" "No need to count, I believe you." Li Fan took out 2 stacks, took out 10, stuffed the rest into Huang Lei's pocket, and then said to the boss. "Boss, I'm here at the appointed time. Let's sign the contract, everything here should be handed over to me. Little brother is really trustworthy." The boss took out the rental contract and the transfer contract of the billiard hall, a total of 170,000, "We'll hand over the money and the goods." 170,000? Li Fan frowned. "Didn't we agree on 150,000 yesterday?" "Aya, little brother, you've misunderstood." The boss chuckled. 150,000. That's the rent for 1.5 years. As for the rest, I'll pay 5,000 for 1 billiard table and 20,000 for 4 of them. I'll give you the rest of the clubs, so you don't have to thank me. After all, I'm going abroad, so I have to leave some benevolence for my motherland. Li Fan did have 20,000 yuan, but he didn't want to give it to him. This boss was definitely taking advantage of the situation to raise the price. It was a bit too much. Benevolence? Benevolence my ass. Li Fan didn't say anything, but Huang Lei couldn't sit still. He also threw away his sword, took out a switchblade from his hip pocket, and nailed it on the table in front of the boss. "Motherfucker, 1 hole for 1 knife, 1 hole for 5,000 yuan.
Since you've stabbed me 4 times, I'll call it quits." What do you mean?" The boss was so scared that he shrank his neck and could not help but ask. "What do you mean? You know it in your heart." At this moment, Huang Lei seemed to be more useful than Li Fan. He curled his lips, lifted one of his feet, and stepped on the table. He stared at the boss in front of him. "Old fart, don't play this game with me. If you have the guts, come and stab me. If you don't have the guts, then stay still. Do you really think that Uncle Huang is easy to bully? Lei, don't be like this. You're scaring people." As Li Fan said that, he picked up a pack of cigarettes from the boss's table. This time, he didn't stand on ceremony. He took out a cigarette and stuffed it into the boss's mouth. "Boss, have a cigarette to calm yourself down. My little brother doesn't know any better. Sorry for making you laugh." Li Fan lit the cigarette for the boss, and then said slowly, "I can understand that you want to raise the price. However, I really hate people who go back on their word the most. Moreover, as you can see, this brother of mine doesn't have any skills. He just knows how to mess around. He can't do any other work, so I was thinking of giving him a billiard hall to let him live a peaceful life. But now that you don't want to sell it, I've also thought about it. This brother of mine probably can't do anything good. I'll give you this 150,000. Aw. The boss froze for a moment. There's such a good thing. Because I have to find a place for my brother to go. I thought about it and decided to let him stay in prison. That way, I can feel more at ease. If I break one of your legs, 150,000 is enough to compensate. Anyway, you're going to America to retire. Breaking one of your legs doesn't matter, right? Big brother, you have the final say. Huang Lei nodded without hesitation. Wherever Big Brother tells me to go, I'll go. As he said that, he picked up a chair beside him. Big Brother, you tell me, which leg do we want? Boss, you tell me. Li Fan asked politely. I'm not a bossy person at all. I'll leave the choice to you. I didn't mean that. Little brother, you see, this is a misunderstanding. The boss swallowed his saliva. He knew that Huang Lei was a ruffian and couldn't be provoked. He originally thought that Li Fan was just a high school student. He could extort money from him before he left. He didn't expect that he would go for wool and come home shorn. I said 170,000. Actually, I haven't given you a discount. I still have to give you a 20% discount. Total is 146,000, okay, keep the change for 4,000. Li Fan put 150,000 on the table. Can we sign the contract now? Yes, of course, we can. The boss eagerly followed Li Fan to sign the contract. This billiard hall finally had a new owner. This is my first property. After getting the contract, Li Fan couldn't help but feel emotional. Since the moment he saw Muronging, his life seemed to have embarked on a different path. Originally, he should have honestly entered a third-rate university and then just hang around for 4 years. Finally, he would find a low-class job in society and continue to hang around for the rest of his life. After a few decades, this Earth dungeon would be completely over. But he didn't expect that things would go wrong. However, he didn't regret embarking on this path. After transferring the billiard hall to Li Fan, the boss packed up his things and left. There were some instant noodles and water left in the shop, but it seemed that the boss had taken them away at night. Really old thing, so damn stingy. Huang Lei angrily cursed, if I knew this earlier, I would have beaten him up first. Forget it. Didn't I leave you 19,000? Leave 5,000 for our daily life. The remaining 14,000 will be the initial operating fund. Li Fan looked at the billiard hall. This place should be renovated. If it's only like this, I'm afraid the profit won't come up. Big brother, I know a few chicken heads. Huang Lei slapped his thigh. How about we find 2 chicken heads so that the students can play billiard and at the same time shoot cannons? Big brother, what do you think of my idea? Chapter 68. Fuck off. Li Fan almost kicked Huang Lei out. Do you think this is a brothel? With our background, we will be beaten up in 3 days, do you understand? Li Fan glared at Huang Lei, thinking that this guy is too unreliable. Big brother is right, I did not think it through. Huang Lei tore off his bloated Taoist robe, revealing a shirt and jeans that had been washed white. He reflected on himself, it's too dangerous to have sex. Remember, Lei, in the West, billiards is an elegant gentleman's sport. Li Fan reminded Huang Lei, don't think of billiards as dirty, okay? Oh, I understand. Big brother is the best, reminding me immediately. Huang Lei nodded, we can't have sex in the billiards hall, it is vulgar. Also not healthy, not green. Yes, you are right to think that way. Li Fan said, this boy is worth teaching. Also, we can't have sex while playing billiards. Yes, you finally started to think. So, we can change it to playing planes. Huang Lei clapped his hands, let the chicken heads find some girls, we don't need to do anything else, as long as the people who play billiards pay an extra 20 yuan per hour, we will give them a free masturbation. Our slogan is to play billiards and play planes at the same time, perfect combination of gentlemanly and sport. Combination your grandpa. Li Fan kicked Huang Lei to the ground, motherfucker. Be serious for this daddy. Big brother, you see, your catchphrase is not environmentally friendly. Fine, I will change it to an environmentally friendly one in the future. Li Fan said angrily, motherfucker, can't you think of a better idea? Don't associate billiards hall with any unethical industry, okay? Then I really don't have any ideas, Huang Lei sighed, I was just talking about it. I almost asked Big Brother if we could find 2 ice sellers. Fuck off. Li Fan was so angry that he was amused. Are you trying to turn my place into a den of thieves? Are you afraid that I won't be caught? Of course not. If Big Brother is arrested, what should I do as a little brother? Huang Lei quickly waved his hand. Then, Big Brother, what do you think we should do? I'll do whatever you say. The billiards will definitely not change. There is a fixed income here every day. I think we can continue doing this. Li Fan already had some ideas. Then, help me get a cigarette license. Our country doesn't prohibit minors from smoking. Other than instant noodles and water, we can also sell them some cigarettes. He should be able to earn some money from this. With Huang Lei's ability, it shouldn't be too difficult to get a cigarette brand. Let's play something special. Li Fan chuckled. It's boring to let them fight every day. Take out another 2,000 from the budget. Aw. Big brother, what else do you want? When Huang Lei heard that money was going to be taken out, he was a bit distressed. I want to organize a tournament. Li Fan said, in the national tournament, the first place can get 1,000 yuan prize. The second place can get 500 yuan, and the third place can get 300 yuan. What about the other 200 yuan? Buy water. Li Fan said, each participant will get a bottle of mineral water for free. Then we'll lose too much money. What's there to lose? We'll charge 5 yuan for the registration fee. Li Fan revealed his trump card, there are a lot of people who are good at billiards in the second high school. 5 yuan is nothing to them. Plus the hourly fee, it's a good income. Big brother. You're really astute. This is called a business mind. After all, we've changed our appearance. We need some excitement to promote our popularity. After Li Fan and Huang Lei finalized their plan, the two of them were hungry. Motherfucker, that damn old man took away the instant noodles. Huang Lei wanted to lose his temper, but Li Fan patted his shoulder, okay, go next door and buy 2 bowls of noodles. Big brother's temper is really good. Huang Lei patted his butt and stood up, wait until tomorrow, I'll put a statue of Guan Yu in the house. It'll attract wealth and suppress evil. Okay, up to you. Go and buy the noodles. Be polite, don't threaten him, okay? Li Fan added another sentence, which would inevitably ruin the relationship between Huang Lei and the surrounding neighbors. Got it, big brother. I promise I won't cause any trouble. Huang Lei turned around and went out. As soon as he left, the billiard hall's door was pushed open, and 3 students came in. They were also students of the second high school, but the one in the middle didn't wear the school uniform, but wore a set of hipster cowboy clothes. The jeans looked fashionable with holes, but in fact, they had long been eliminated in the previous era. The two students next to him were also hoodlums. With both hands in their pockets and a cigarette in their mouth, they followed the one in the middle. The one in the middle, Li Fan immediately recognized him. He was none other than the principal's son, the second high school's little overlord, Hua Dehong. "Boss Hua, where are we going to play tonight? The place we went to last time was not bad. Boss Hua, can you bring us to see it again?" The two hoodlums followed Hua Dehong, and it was said that the two of them knew big brothers in the underworld. In the past, Li Fan didn't understand, but now he finally understood. What kind of big brother did he know? He just knew two hooligans from the underworld. He was just using this to scare the students. "Let's play a few rounds." Hua Dehong snappily said, "Today, little fourth, I didn't pay any tribute. How would I have the money to treat you? Let's play billiards, the loser pays tonight." "Okay, Boss Hua, then it's a deal. Boss Hua's skill is so good, you have to let me win." The two lackeys kept flattering Hua Dehong. Hua Dehong was about to pick a cue, but he saw Li Fan sitting behind the boss's desk. "Yo, isn't this the school's popular prince, Li Fan?" Hua Dehong curled his lips, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. "Hey, I heard you've been doing well recently." He directly walked toward Li Fan. The two lackeys also picked up a cue and followed Hua Dehong to stand in front of Li Fan. The three of them were like three gods, condescendingly looking at Li Fan, as if they were ghosts demanding a debt. "Do you want to play billiards?" Li Fan spread his hand, 10 yuan per hour, no credit. "You're the fucking boss." The lackey on Hua Dehong's left was tall and thin. He opened his mouth and scolded, "Who do you think you are, asking us for money? This billiard hall now belongs to me." Li Fan didn't get angry and calmly said, "If you don't want to pay, then take care. I won't see you out." "Fuck, how can you say that?" The lackey on the right was short and fat. He was about to get angry, but was stopped by Hua Dehong. "Li Fan, since you're the boss, I have to talk to you." Hua Dehong patted the cue in his hand and stood there with his legs spread out. "There's a debt, we have to settle it." Chapter 69. Oh. Settle accounts. What accounts? Li Fan raised his eyebrows. "The previous boss borrowed 200 yuan from me. Hua Dehong stretched out 2 fingers, he ran away, and you became the boss. This 200 yuan should be returned by you, right?" Li Fan was amused. 200 yuan, this guy really has the nerve to ask for it. "I was wondering what the school's bully was like, but it turns out he's just a so-so." Li Fan sneered, 200 yuan, you really think you're a beggar? "Fuck you, you're fucking an outsider, aren't you?" The short fatty raised his cue stick and swung it at Li Fan. But Li Fan moved even faster. He stretched out his right hand and directly grabbed the short fatty's ear. He pulled his fat head and big ears down forcefully. Oh my god. The short fatty's head was forced to press against the table, his ear was still hurting, and the cue stick in his hand fell with a clang. "Guys, if you want to settle accounts with the previous boss, then go to him. It's useless to look for me. You let go first." Hua Dehong and the tall skinny guy saw their companion was in pain, and immediately scolded Li Fan. "Guys, do you still want to play billiards?" Li Fan pulled the fat guy's ear, without any intention of letting go, and instead asked with a smile. "Brat, you fucking have guts." Hua Dehong said fiercely, "You will not be able to survive in this school." "Ayaya, this sounds familiar." Li Fan's left hand dug the ear wax, and his right hand pulled the fat guy's ear, without any intention of letting go. Right, it seems that the principal also said the same to me." Li Fan laughed, little bully, even your dad said this to me. I'm not afraid. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Is there something wrong with your brain? Li Fan, don't be cocky with me. My dad can't deal with you, but I can. Hua Dehong said fiercely, don't run after school today. Okay, I'll wait for you. Li Fan showed no sign of fear. Let's meet at the entrance of the billiard hall. All right. Let go. Let's go. Hua Dehong's hand tugged at Li Fan's arm for a long time, but Li Fan's arm seemed to be made of iron and didn't move at all. He could only hold back his anger and roar angrily. I won't stay for long. Li Fan finally retracted his finger and patted Fatty's forehead with his palm. Paw. Ouch. The short Fatty was immediately pushed away by Li Fan's hand. He staggered back 3 steps, and finally fell on his butt. His butt broke into 8 pieces, and he grinned. You're good. Just you wait. Don't run away tonight. Hua Dehong spoke ruthlessly and walked out with his 2 followers. Bai Lin Luo asked me to send his regards. Li Fan waved in the direction they left, thinking to himself, what kind of school bullies are they? His father was the principal, so he could be the little tyrant. If his father was not the principal, he would have already been beaten to death. Speaking of which, this Hua Dehong ate a bellyful of dust in the billiard hall. His heart was in a bad mood. When he returned to school, he immediately began to recruit people, preparing for a big fight at night. Shaoli, come beat someone up with me tonight. Hua Dehong took out his phone. The 3 of them hid in the toilet and smoked while calling their friends one by one. Boss Hua, who do you want to beat up? Shaoli, I will climb a mountain of swords and dive into a sea of flames to help you beat him to death. No one, just beat up a guy named Li Fan. You only need 7 or 8 people to do it. That. Boss Hua, I suddenly remembered that these 2 days I have a stomach ache. The enthusiastic Shaoli immediately declined, maybe it's a cold these 2 days. In 2 days I will help you beat him up. I'll hang up first, I have to go buy medicine. Buy your paralysis medicine. Are you on your period? The other side has already hung up the phone. Hua Dehong angrily cursed, fuck you, go buy sanitary pads. He thought for a moment and called Wang Chang. This kid's family has some background. He is usually tyrannical in school and has a good relationship with him. If he beats someone up, he will definitely come out to help. Changzi, what are you doing? Boss Hua, I'm going for a drive. Wang Chang sat in his newly bought BMW Z4. Next to him sat a beautiful new student girl who was crazily taking selfies with her phone. Do you have time tonight? Yeah, why, which place do you want to go? Wang Chang immediately recommended, recently there's a new night place. This girl is very excited. Boss Hua, I'll be the host today. Let's go have some fun. When will we go? I have something to do today and you have to help me. Who are we? Why are you talking about help? You're treating me like an outsider. Wang Chang immediately agreed, say it, what do you want this little brother to do? Bring 2 people over tonight to beat someone up with me. Isn't it just beating someone up? Who do you want to beat up with so many people? Don't worry, I'll help you beat him up. If there's really no one, I'll hire 2 bodyguards for you. That's not necessary. It's just beating up Li Fan. He seems to be in the same class as you. Boss Hua, I suddenly got a call. It seems my dad's company is having a shareholders meeting. That's it, I might have a meeting tonight. I'll contact you later. Saying that, he hung up the phone. Fuck your grandpa. Wang Chang. Fuck your ancestors. Hua Dehong cursed, what does your dad's shareholders meeting have to do with you? Who the fuck are these people? Boss. Could it be that they don't dare to come? The short fatty covered his red and swollen ears. He seemed to have understood something. Fuck your mom, did you get screwed silly? Hua De Hong slapped the short fatty's face, isn't it just Li Fan? Who does he think he is? If these two bastards don't come, I won't be able to find him. Tonight, I'll fucking teach that kid a lesson. Little Four Eyes, I'll avenge you tonight. Do you want to come? After returning to class, Li Fan asked his deskmate, Bai Lin Luo. Bai Lin Luo had already gone home to change a pair of glasses. Hearing Li Fan's words, he finally pulled his attention away from the paper and glanced at Li Fan. Avenge? Avenge what? To help you beat up the little tyrant. Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. Tonight, I'll let you see what it means to face the little tyrant head on. Is this okay? Bai Lin Luo was a bit worried. If the school knows that you two fought, they'll definitely expel you. No, they'll expel you. Who cares? Let's fight first. Li Fan chuckled. If you're worried, help me make a plan. Li Fan, you're scheming against me. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. You want me to help you come up with a bad idea? No, this is called a conspiracy. Li Fan began to rope in Bai Lin Luo. Although you're usually low-key, I know that you like to watch Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I want to do something big, but I need someone to help me. Little Four Eyes, I don't know many people, except for you. Are you willing to help me?
Chapter 70. Are you trying to drag me down with you? Bai Lin Luo looked at Li Fan strangely. I am a good student. Little Four Eyes, let me ask you. What are we living for? To marry a beautiful wife, to find a comfortable job, and after that? Li Fan continued to ask. After that, Bai Lin Luo didn't know how to answer. Think about our life. It is all planned. Li Fan continued to tempt Bai Lin Luo. He wanted to start a career, but it was not enough to rely on himself. In the society, he had Huang Lei's help. In terms of planning, he was not comprehensive enough. He needed someone to help him plan the big picture. Although Bai Lin Luo was usually low-key and looked easy to bully, Li Fan felt that he was quite smart and had a long-term vision. His main task today was to drag him down with him. I hope we can do something together. While we are young, while we are still motivated. Bai Lin Luo, do you want to follow the path that others have set for you? Li Fan pulled his arm. Get into a good university, find a good job, marry a good wife, and have a good baby. Then let the baby get into a good university, find a good job, marry a good wife, and have a baby. What's the difference between this and a shepherd boy? What you said seems to make sense. Follow me then. Little Four Eyes. Li Fan hugged Bai Lin Luo's shoulder again. I believe you can do something with me, and it will be something big. You really believe me? Bai Lin Luo was surprised. He didn't expect Li Fan to believe in a student like him. Bai Lin Luo's results were not bad, but he was invisible in the class. Even during Chinese New Year, his classmates didn't send him any messages to congratulate him. It was like this in junior high and senior high school. And who was Li Fan? He was practically the school's celebrity now. For such a celebrity to be willing to take him along, it was really beyond his expectations. It could even be said that he was a little flattered. Of course, I have high hopes for you, young man. Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder hard. Are you willing to follow me? Comrade Bai Lin Luo. I'm still a little scared. In the end, Bai Lin Luo wasn't sure if Li Fan would lead him into the ditch. He was just an ordinary student. How could he break away from an ordinary life? Bai Lin Luo, if you want to follow me, you can't have such overcautious thoughts. Li Fan immediately said, if you are always so overcautious, we can't do our business. Then let me think about it. Bai Lin Luo felt uneasy. He did not do well in this class. He didn't listen to the teacher's words. After class, Bai Lin Luo was worried that Li Fan would ask him about this matter, so he ran to the sports field to hide. There was a small forest in the sports field. Usually, students rarely came here. It was a quiet place for Bai Lin Luo to hide. At this time, he sat on a big rock, looking at the yellow leaves on the branches.
His mind was still thinking about what Li Fan said to him. But getting into a good school, finding a good job. This has always been my life goal. Following Li Fan, changing my daily life. Is this really good? Bai Lin Luo didn't know what to do. At this time, Hua Dehong, without knowing why, also walked into this small forest. Fuck, Li Fan, this kid, I'll beat him to death tonight. As Hua Dehong walked, he kicked a small rock by the side. I've found 10 people, I guarantee that he'll be looking for his teeth on the ground. When Bai Lin Luo saw the little tyrant and the two familiar fat and skinny lackeys, he didn't dare to say anything and turned to leave. Stop. Hua Dehong didn't have the intention to let him go. He directly blocked in front of Bai Lin Luo. One of his feet stepped on the tree trunk by the side, blocking Bai Lin Luo's path. Where are you going, little four eyes? Class is about to start. I'm going back. Bai Lin Luo's heart was trembling. He was afraid when he saw Hua Dehong. Fuck. Did I say you could leave? Hua Dehong slapped Bai Lin Luo's face, sending his glasses flying. Fuck you, where's the money that I asked you to give me? Hua Dehong questioned, you only know how to stroll around. You sure know how to find a place. The scenery here is beautiful, right? The fallen leaves are beautiful, right? I really don't have any money, fuck you. Hua Dehong kicked Bai Lin Luo's body, sending him tumbling to the ground. You still dare to talk back. You have money to change your glasses, but you don't have money to give to me. I went home to change them, then don't you know to go home to get the money? Hua Dehong scolded, are you looking down on me? Do you believe that I won't let you stay in school? Fuck you, you deserve a beating. With that, Hua Dehong and his two lackeys kicked Bai Lin Luo a few times. Pfft. Finally, Hua Dehong spat out and tidied up his clothes, if you don't give me the money tomorrow, I'll continue to beat you up. After venting his anger, Hua Dehong felt much better and left with his two lackeys. There was no one else in the forest. After a long time, Bai Lin Luo barely managed to climb up. He silently picked up his glasses and limped back to the school building. When he returned to class, it just so happened that the black fatty Chang Chuanxi's class was about to begin. What time is it? If you're late, then stand outside. Chang Chuanxi's expression was very unhappy as he reprimanded. Teacher Chang, it's obvious that he was beaten up. Li Fan immediately stood up and said, shouldn't you first ask who beat him up? What does a student's fight have to do with a teacher? Chang Chuanxi's pair of bull eyes stared at Li Fan. It takes two hands to clap. It's already good enough that I didn't call his parents when he was fighting. And you, who allowed you to speak? Don't you understand the rules of the class? Other than things related to learning, you're not allowed to talk about anything else. Can't you show some concern for your classmates? What kind of school is this? There's no human touch at all. Li Fan was unhappy. Chang Chuanxi slammed the podium. I think you're the one who's the one. What kind of student are you? You don't even have any rules. Get out and stand together. I'll stand then. When Li Fan's temper was stubborn, even 9 bulls couldn't pull him back. He swaggered out of the class. Chang Chuanxi scolded, go out and close the door. Don't worry Teacher Chang, I promise to close the door. After all, I don't want to see you. With that, Li Fan heavily closed the classroom door. He didn't care how angry Chang Chuanxi was. He could do whatever he wanted. Tell me, who beat you up? Li Fan looked at Bai Lin Luo and asked. But Bai Lin Luo suddenly squatted down and wiped his tears. Damn, a man doesn't cry easily. Li Fan was a bit annoyed. Don't cry. Tell me, I'll help you. Chapter 71. Let me cry for a while. It will be fine in a while. Bai Lin Luo squatted on the ground, wiping his tears. Li Fan had no choice but to let him cry. After crying for 5 minutes, Bai Lin Luo finally stood up, wiped his eyes, and put on his glasses. Li Fan, I will follow you from now on. Bai Lin Luo's eyes became firm. No matter if the road is right or wrong, good or bad, I will follow you. As long as you can help me take revenge. It's not me helping you take revenge, it's us taking revenge for you together. Li Fan held Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. Remember, we are all men, we can't be bullied so easily. Hua Dehong was born by his parents, but we are not. We all have 2 eyes and 1 nose, we are born equal, why can't he bully us? And we will resist together. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. I want to let him know that we are not easy to bully. That's right. Li Fan lowered his voice. Tonight I asked him to have a fight in the billiard hall, but I don't want the school leaders to find out. Leave it to me. Bai Lin Luo's eyes behind the glasses flashed with wisdom. As long as we divert the attention of the teachers and leaders. How to divert them? Do you want to set them on fire? Li Fan said, if it was Huang Lei, he would really do it. No need, leave this matter to me. Bai Lin Luo said confidently, I guarantee that all the teachers in the school will come to play with me, you can rest assured to take care of the little tyrant. Okay. Then I'll leave it to you. Li Fan believed that Bai Lin Luo could handle this matter. From today onwards, we are brothers. Li Fan suddenly felt a little excited. With the help of an intellectual talent like Bai Lin Luo, he could go further in his career. I've already bought the billiard hall in front of the school. Li Fan said, for at least a year and a half, it will be our territory. In the future, we'll discuss the grand plan there. It feels like an uprising. Bai Lin Luo said shyly with his head lowered. It's not an uprising, it's a revolution. A smile appeared at the corner of Li Fan's mouth. Chang Chuanxi, that guy, he sees us as dregs and wants to drive us students out of the school. Then I'll let him know who the real master of the school is. All students shouldn't be treated differently. It's time for us to rebel. Bai Lin Luo nodded. No matter what, he still had to follow Li Fan. Since he had made up his mind, he could not regret it. Even if you're a pirate ship, I'm not getting off. Bai Lin Luo muttered. Ah. What did you say? Li Fan was so happy that he didn't hear what Li Fan said. Nothing, nothing. Anyway, there's nothing else to do. How about we play chess? Bai Lin Luo suddenly suggested. Where's the chess? I have it. Bai Lin Luo smiled and took out a small blue book from his bosom. When he opened it, there was a small chessboard inside. The chess pieces on it weren't big and were made of magnets. I like to play chess, and I don't like to play with my phone. Want to play? Come on. Li Fan was afraid of nothing. Since he couldn't play in the class, he could play in the corridor. These 2 students who were punished to stand were sitting in the corridor. They played one after another, without any atmosphere of being punished. After 3 rounds, Li Fan didn't win even once. He wanted to play another 2 rounds, but the class was over. Although Li Fan wasn't afraid of trouble, he didn't want to look for trouble, so he didn't continue to pester Bai Lin Luo to play chess. Until the evening after school, Lin Yuhsan didn't call. Li Fan could only ask his friend to tell Lin Yuhsan to go home first, and he would catch up later. At this time, Bai Lin Luo also took action. He went to the school's chiba and posted a post. Then he walked to the roof of a teaching building behind the school. He slowly took off his school uniform, folded it neatly, and put it aside. Then he carefully sat on the edge of the balcony. Looking down, it was the 6th floor. It was very high, and he felt dizzy just by looking at it. Bai Lin Luo endured the fear in his heart, sat on the balcony, and began to count down. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. In less than 5 minutes, someone ran to the bottom of the teaching building and shouted at Bai Lin Luo, who was on top of the building. Come and see. Someone from grade 2 class 2 is going to jump off the building. There's a show to watch. Jump, hurry up and jump. This spread from 1 to 10, and with the help of the chiba, many students gathered below the teaching building. With this, the school's top management was alarmed. Chang Chuanxi, the dean, and the others all came. Even the principal personally came downstairs. If a student jumped off the building, he would definitely lose his position as the principal. This was too fucked up. Why did it have to happen at this time? This bunch of students, can't they just calm down for a while? Chang Chuanxi, a student from your class. The principal pointed at Chang Chuanxi, and his heart was bleeding. The reason why he called him over was so that he could settle these troubles. Why did this big trouble of Li Fan not be settled, and now there's this guy who wants to jump off the building? Jump, jump. If you have the guts, jump down. The surrounding students didn't mind the commotion, and Chang Chuanxi was a little flustered. All of you, shut up. The students downstairs were too noisy. Chang Chuanxi shouted at them, and they quietened down. Bai Lin Luo, what are you doing? Calm down. Chang Chuanxi shouted at the rooftop, let's talk things out. If you have any difficulties, you can tell us. Don't take things too hard. Bai Lin Luo looked down. It seemed that the audience had gathered, and he hoped that Li Fan's side would also be able to proceed smoothly. He took a deep breath, and then let out a hysterical shout. I don't want to live anymore, you damn bitches. You all want to see me die, right? I'll jump for you now. Don't jump, ancestor. The principal almost knelt down. What grievances do you have? Tell us. We will definitely help you solve it. There are people bullying me in school every day, and neither the teachers nor the school cares. I get beaten up every day, and there's no one to reason with. What's the point of living? I'll just die. Bai Lin Luo cried, and then he grabbed his school uniform and threw it down. Looking at the falling uniform, the principal almost had a heart attack. Luckily, it wasn't a person who jumped, or else it would be bad. We will definitely help you solve these problems. Come down first, and we will have a good talk, okay, Bai Lin Luo. Chang Chuanxi also clenched his teeth. This damn Bai Lin Luo, why didn't he die in his own home? Why did he want to jump off the building in school? Isn't this giving me more trouble? Chapter 72. When Bai Lin Luo was showing off his acting skills, Li Fan also returned to the billiard hall. This time, Li Fan discovered that there was a large group of punks sitting in the billiard hall. Each and every one of them were smoking and drinking, making the billiard hall a foul atmosphere. Huang Lei. What's going on? Li Fan angrily cursed. Fuck, how can you talk to our brother Lei like that? One of the punks was suddenly unhappy. He directly picked up a chair and walked toward Li Fan. Li Fan frowned, clenched his fists, and was ready to beat this kid to the ground. Unexpectedly, Huang Lei ran over and shouted at the punks. What are you shouting for? This is my big brother, do you understand? Oh, big brother, I'm sorry, please don't take offense. Only then did the hooligan put down the chair. In fact, Li Fan had already seen some clues. This punk shouted quite happily, but he didn't have the slightest intention of stepping forward. Who are these people? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. There were about 30 punks in here, and there were dozens of people standing outside. Where did Huang Lei get such a group of gods? Hee, big brother, I hired them for 20 yuan each. A total of 100 people, isn't it overbearing? Huang Lei pulled Li Fan to the side and whispered, these people are all punks who have nothing to do every day. They stay in the internet cafe every day. These people can be hired by a human trafficker. I just spent some money to get them to cheer for us. Cheer? Cheer for what? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. It's an auspicious opening. Huang Lei said with some regret, big brother, if you didn't break the dragon bed yesterday, we could have saved 10,000 yuan. I was planning to hire a lion dance team for this 10,000 yuan. At that time, it would be lively. Also, exorcism. Exorcism your sister. It's like the opening of a dojo. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Hurry up and make them leave. What are they doing here? Students who want to play billiards can't come in. All right. Huang Lei nodded and waved his hand. Second brother, come here. Hey, you're here, brother Lei. A green-haired man wearing a small vest ran over. He looked at Huang Lei as if he was looking at a rich man. Take your people and leave. Huang Lei took out 2,000 yuan and drew out another 200 yuan. The 200 yuan is your commission, and the rest is your share. Brother Lei is so loyal. Lao Er happily accepted the money and took out his phone. Everyone, it's time to collect your money. I'm giving you a red packet. $10 each. Remember to collect it. All right. Let's go online. Fuck, this time we must get platinum. Li Fan said. He finally got these gurus to leave. But at this moment, a dozen people came from the billiard hall. The one leading them was Hua Dehong. Hua Dehong was originally aggressive. He planned to lead his men to kick Li Fan's ass and make him cry and apologize. But when he saw these gangsters at the billiard hall entrance, his scalp went numb. These people. Who are they? Come quickly. Thank you, Brother Lei. Thank you, Master Fan. Lao Er already knew Li Fan's name. He gave an order and the 100 or so gangsters bowed to Huang Lei and Li Fan respectively. Thank you, Brother Lei. Thank you, Master Fan. Hua Dehong was stunned. What's going on? Fuck, are you trying to scare me? Behind him were more than 10 gangsters. Hua Dehong could only bite the bullet and shouted at Li Fan. You fucking found so many people? Fuck your mother. How can you talk to Master Fan like that? Are you looking for a beating? Brothers, pick up your weapons. The surrounding gangsters began to put on an act again. Some picked up bricks, some picked up pieces of wood. With more than 100 people, Hua Dehong was scared to the point that he peed his pants. The dozen or so gangsters behind him were also scared. Although they were able to mix around in school, but in front of these gangsters in the society, they paled in comparison. Li Fan. You fucking unreasonable. Hua Dehong was stared at by a gangster. He could not help but tremble. We agreed to fight. Don't invite so many people. What a joke. Li Fan smiled, didn't you also bring people? Big brother, is this guy looking for trouble with you? Huang Lei understood and cursed, motherfucker. Today, the billiard hall just opened and there are already people looking for trouble. Just right, I'll use you guys as a reward. LoveLore, be sensible. Alright, brothers, pick up your weapons. LoveLore also picked up a chair from the side. Who wants to make a move on our master fan? Leave one of your legs behind. I came here to play billiard. I went to the side to eat noodles. The students who followed Hua Dehong all ran away in fright. The fat and thin lackeys also ran away, leaving only Hua Dehong standing there. The dignified little tyrant, at this moment, both his legs were trembling. He could not even stand straight. Li Fan. You can't bully people. What? Li Fan dug his ears. What did you say? You brought so many people. What kind of hero are you? Hua Dehong reprimanded, if you have guts, fight me one-on-one. He had learned taekwondo since he was young. If it was one-on-one, he had the confidence to kill Li Fan. As the saying goes, take the head of the general among thousands of soldiers. If he could settle Li Fan, these people would not do anything to him. Don't be afraid. I am the little tyrant. How can a tyrant from second high school be afraid of these people? 3 years of taekwondo training was not for nothing. I am a red belt, an expert. It would be a piece of cake to deal with this little Li Fan. You want to fight me one-on-one? Li Fan looked at Hua Dehong in surprise, while Huang Lei could not help but slap his thigh and laugh. Ha ha ha. Fight big brother one-on-one. This is too funny. Don't joke around. The other party is serious. Li Fan has the dignity of a martial artist. He stopped Huang Lei's ridicule. Hua Dehong, I accept your one-on-one challenge. Should we give way? LoveLore just asked, but Huang Lei waved his hand, no need. I can settle it in 2 moves. Hua Dehong said in his heart, does this punk know that I know taekwondo? He has good eyes. Little tyrant, please make your move. Li Fan crooked his finger at Hua Dehong, let me see how strong a tyrant from second high school is. Idiot, I am a taekwondo red belt. Hua Dehong was looked down upon by Li Fan. His heart was filled with anger, I want to kick your front teeth out. With that, Hua Dehong rushed forward and kicked Li Fan's head. Li Fan sighed, what taekwondo red belt? It's full of flaws. Compared to Brother Nan's kick, the difference is too big. Hua Dehong was confident that this kick would definitely knock out 2 of Li Fan's front teeth. But at this time, Li Fan stretched out his hand and placed it in front of him. Chapter 73. Paw. Li Fan gently waved his palm and easily slapped away Hua Dehong's kick. It was as if Hua Dehong's kick had no effect on him. Too weak. Li Fan sneered, I'm so disappointed. Motherfucker. I didn't put in any effort just now. Although Hua Dehong was a little surprised, he still quickly kicked 3 times. Each kick went straight for Li Fan's face. It was child's play. Li Fan couldn't help but complain. It was like a child's gesture. Li Fan's palm was still upright in front of him for these 3 kicks, and he gently slapped them away. As the saying goes, hands are 2 doors. At this time, Li Fan's one hand played the role of door god, and Hua Dehong didn't have any temper. He only felt a little unbelievable. Did I practice taekwondo for nothing? How did Li Fan do it? He only used his palm to slap away my attack. Hua Dehong, you can give up your title of Little Overlord. Without waiting for Hua Dehong to react, Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of him. This punch, I'm giving you on behalf of Bai Lin Luo. As he said, Li Fan's fist suddenly came from the side. Hua Dehong only felt a blur in front of him, followed by a sharp pain on his cheek. Li Fan didn't use the 5 animals' combined attack. To deal with a rookie like Hua Dehong, using martial arts was simply an insult to a martial artist. It was just an ordinary fist, but it hit Hua Dehong's right cheek. Hua Dehong's whole body spun out, and he spat out a broken tooth from his mouth. He fell heavily on the ground with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. "There's another kick, I'm giving you on behalf of myself." Li Fan didn't have the slightest mercy and walked toward him. "You fucking dare to hit me." Although Hua Dehong was stunned, he quickly understood. He looked at Li Fan and cursed, "Motherfucker. I'm not done with you. The principal is my father. Principal, he's still my son." Li Fan kicked Hua Dehong's body, and the man was immediately sent flying. He hit an electric pole behind him and fainted on the spot. "Ah, Hua Dehong, why did you faint here?" Li Fan suddenly clapped his hands and walked forward in surprise. "Who did it? Why did you beat up the principal's son?" The surrounding people were all speechless. "Weren't you the one who beat him up just now?" "Big brother, it wasn't someone else who beat him up. He hit a telephone pole when he was crossing the road." Huang Lei quickly raised his hand and shouted, "Who knows where his eyes are? He actually hit the electric pole. What an idiot." Yes, he ran into it himself. I saw it too." The people around them nodded, while Li Fan sighed regretfully, "Sigh, he must have gone stupid from school. We're all classmates. Although he's a little stupid, I can't just ignore him." With that, Li Fan took out his phone. "I have to tell the teacher to let the principal take his son to see a doctor. There aren't many good people like me. I'm a selfless Lei Feng." Li Fan praised himself. The people around him were about to vomit. Damn it. If Hua Dehong woke up and heard this, he would probably faint from anger again. Li Fan used his phone to send a message to the school's leader. At the same time, the principal was trying his best to persuade Bai Lin Luo. No matter what anyone said, it was useless. Bai Lin Luo was sitting on the roof, ready to jump down at any moment. The principal felt that his heart was about to jump out. Just then, Bai Lin Luo's phone rang 3 times. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. "Bai Lin Luo, you're still young. Don't take things too hard. You still have a long way to go in life. Do you know that?" This was the first time Chang Chuanxi was trying his best to persuade someone. He felt that he was not suited for this. It was fine for him to teach students. But persuading people, his standard was too low. "All right, I understand." Bai Lin Luo sat back. Then under everyone's stunned gaze, he climbed back to the balcony and bowed to Chang Chuanxi. "Thank you for your guidance. You're a good teacher. I understand. I'm still young. I don't want to die." Ah. Chang Chuanxi was stunned. What the heck? The change in attitude was too fast. "Thank you for your guidance. I won't seek death anymore. Our school is really humane. I'll ask my family to send a silk banner over." When Bai Lin Luo said this, his face didn't even blush. "Forget about the silk banner. As long as you don't seek death. Don't be impulsive in the future." The principal also heaved a sigh of relief. Recently, there were so many disasters. Why was this change in leadership so difficult? Got it. Thank you, teachers. I'll go home now. Bai Lin Luo skipped back home while the principal started to chase him away. All right. There's no more excitement to watch. Go home quickly. He was planning to go for a massage to relax. He didn't expect his phone to suddenly ring. Then, his expression changed. "Principal, look at me. I'm an all-rounder. Chang Chuanxi was still trying to take credit from the principal, but Lin Luo is such a fragile person. I managed to persuade him. I feel that other than being a teacher, I can also be the school's psychiatrist. I can help the principals solve problems. Solve problems your head. The principal couldn't help but curse. His expression was ugly. He turned around and walked out of the school. Principal. What happened to you? Chang Chuanxi didn't know what happened. He was stunned after being scolded. My son. My son was beaten up in front of the school gate. The principal left in a hurry. His face was filled with anxiety. This precious son of his was born at an old age. He treasured him so much that he couldn't even bear to scold him. Now that he was beaten up, wasn't it the same as cutting his heart with a knife? What? De Hong was beaten up. Who dared to beat him up? Let me go take a look. Chang Chuanxi followed behind the principal. At the same time, he was also muttering in his heart. Hua Dehong was known as the second middle school's little tyrant. Even in first middle school, he had heard of him. Such a student. Who had the ability to beat him up? A few teachers followed the principal and rushed to the school gate. Sure enough, Hua Dehong was lying on the ground with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. Dehong, Dehong. What happened to you? Wake up. Look at your father. The principal's heart ached. He went up and hugged his son, shouting his name. Principal, don't worry. Your son didn't die. He just fainted from the impact. Li Fan stood at the side. It was as if he was watching a show. He even stretched out his hand to take credit. Principal, I saw your son fainting and told you. There's no need to give him a reward. Should we hold a commendation ceremony in school to promote my selfless spirit of helping others? Huang Lei was amused. His elder brother was really sarcastic. He could even say such things. Li Fan. Look at what you did. Chang Chuanxi pointed at Li Fan. Tell me, did you beat him up? Chapter 74. Tell me, did you hit him? Chang Chuanxi questioned Li Fan. I'm being wronged. Li Fan shouted that he was being wronged. There's no such thing. I'm a good citizen, a good student, and I've received the education of patriotism. How could I have hit someone? You guys are really good at wronging people. I kindly informed you to bring Hua Dehong to see a doctor, but in the end, I was framed. His voice was especially loud, echoing in everyone's ears as he recounted his grievances. Indeed, it's hard to be a good person. No wonder there aren't any good people nowadays. This world is too disappointing. Sigh, morals are degenerating day by day, and people's hearts are not what they used to be. Chang Chuanxi felt a little awkward. Could this Li Fan really be innocent? Dad, at this moment, Hua Dehong suddenly woke up and pointed at Li Fan, saying, Dad. He hit me. With that, Hua Dehong fainted again. The principal immediately glared at Li Fan, while Chang Chuanxi pointed at Li Fan. What else do you have to say now? This is too much. Li Fan continued to cry out, is this the rumored Pingzi? I'm so tired. In the past, I never believed that there would be such a person, but today I've seen it for myself. You guys are the school's leaders, how can you do such a heartless thing? You're accusing the guilty party first. There's no justice in this. The people around them echoed in agreement. Li Fan seemed to be encouraged as he looked at Chang Chuanxi and the principal in disbelief. I've helped you guys, but you're trying to extort me. Why, as a principal of such a big school, can't you even afford this little bit of medical fees? It's okay if you can't afford it. Don't you like to get the students to donate money? Let everyone donate money for your son. 1 yuan per person, even if your son is disabled, you'll have money to treat him. Li Fan. What are you trying to do? Chang Chuanxi couldn't help but scold. Is it because no one can control you? Are you lawless now? Teacher Chang, as a teacher, you should naturally understand this principle. Li Fan was unperturbed as he calmly replied, you need evidence to speak. Nonsense is a rumor. Teacher Chang, do you have any proof that I hit Hua Dehong? Hua Dehong said it himself, you were the one who hit him. Oh. Li Fan had a smile on his face. That's interesting. He said that I would hit him, so he hit me. Why don't I hit you? Chang Chuanxi was stunned for a moment. These words seemed very familiar. He seemed to have heard them before. In short, if you don't have evidence, don't accuse good people. Li Fan was not polite at all. You don't have any verification or physical evidence. How can you say that I hit someone? There are so many people around, why don't you ask them if I was the one who hit them? No, he hit himself. That's right, this person might be a little retarded, banging his head against the electric pole. Not only do we have to look at his injuries, but we also have to look at his brain. Everyone laughed, while Chang Chuanxi flew into a rage out of humiliation, but there was nothing he could do. Li Fan, don't give me that. Chang Chuanxi gritted his teeth and said, sooner or later, we will find evidence against you. A scumbag like you should be kicked out of the school, and like these hooligans, sooner or later you will become the trash of society. Motherfucker, who are you calling trash? When Huang Lei heard this, he was immediately unhappy. Motherfucker, dressing like a dog, are you tired of living? Do you know how to speak after eating shit in the morning? Huang Lei had already pulled out a switchblade from his hip pocket. The principal's face immediately changed. What do you want? Do you want to hurt someone? Your father, can't peel an apple. Huang Lei rolled his eyes, took out an apple out of nowhere, and started peeling it. Li Fan was full of admiration. This guy really knew how to make a prank. He actually made an apple. Your school's control is too broad. It's fine if you control the students, but you even control us eating an apple. What kind of joke is this, Pei? Huang Lei spat on the ground. On the surface, you look like a proper person, but when you peel off that layer of skin, you are not even comparable to us. Idiot. I will not lower myself to the same level as you. Although Chang Chuanxi dared to deal with the hooligans in the school, but he did not dare to deal with the hooligans outside. He did not dare to provoke them. Idiot, then quickly scram. Huang Lei cursed. Since the police would not care if he cursed, he could curse as he pleased. Treat Dehong's injury first. The principal did not want to be entangled with Li Fan. Although he felt sorry for his son, it was not the time to pursue the matter. After all, they could not get any evidence of Li Fan hitting someone. If they continued to cause trouble, it would not be beneficial to anyone. However, there was something strange about the whole incident today. Li Fan, today's matter is definitely not over. Chang Chuanxi could only leave with the headmaster, but he left such a sentence to Li Fan. All right, I hope to continue communicating with Teacher Chang in terms of study and life. Li Fan bowed to Chang Chuanxi. Goodbye, Teacher Chang. Principal, take care. His attitude really angered both the principal and Chang Chuanxi. The principal looked at Hua Dehong, who was placed on the stretcher, and his heart was in pain. Chang Chuanxi, I want Li Fan to scram out of my school. The principal's voice was filled with uncontrollable anger as he said to Chang Chuanxi. All right, principal. This kind of student should have been kicked out of the school long ago. Chang Chuanxi nodded. He is now a troublemaker, and he even brought the surrounding students to rebel against us. The school must not allow this kind of person to stay. His existence is a scourge. Now that the school is reorganizing, there are many things that I cannot show myself. The principal said darkly, if you help me settle this, the position of the school's office director will be yours. I will definitely do my best. The two of them were discussing how to deal with Li Fan. At this moment, Li Fan had already left the billiard hall in a hurry, and was on his way to Lin Yuhsan's house. He had taught Hua Dehong a lesson, but he still had a long way to go. Li Fan did not want to target the school, as he himself really liked going to school. From here, he could gain knowledge, get to know classmates and friends. But there were some people in the school who were too much. The differential treatment of the teachers, the school's arbitrary fees, these were all things that should have been reformed long ago. Why was everything good students did right, and everything bad students did wrong? Why were the things that had been taught in class forced to be taught again? And why was Hua Dehong, the initiator of school violence, able to continue to exist? There were many things that Li Fan could not get to the bottom of. What he could do was to start from him, from the second high school. What was there to be afraid of? Didn't Grandpa Mao said that fighting with the heavens, fighting with the earth, and fighting with people was endless joy? Without a pair of iron shoes, Li Fan's pace was faster. Before the sky turned dark, he had already arrived at Lin Yuhsan's building. Her room was still lit. As agreed, Li Fan stood in front of the door and barked 3 times like a dog. Chapter 75. To be honest, Li Fan felt that this was not a remedial course, but more like a clandestine love affair. It couldn't be helped, as Lin Yuhsan's upbringing was so strict. Unlike his own parents, who abandoned him and ran away. The two of them were traveling around the world, leaving him to suffer here. Li Fan stood outside the door, imitating a puppy, and barked 3 times. After a minute, the door was gently opened. Lin Yuhsan did not speak, but looked around vigilantly, as if she was determined to stick to her job. Was the journey safe? Did anyone follow you? Sis, don't make it look like a spy movie. Li Fan was on the verge of breaking down. We were just taking remedial courses, a pure revolutionary friendship. Why did you dirty it? Who's dirty? Lin Yuhsan dragged Li Fan in and closed the door. Then, she grumbled, I'm just being careful. If my mother finds out, I'm dead meat. Auntie is too stingy. She should support students helping each other. Li Fan was a little depressed. If I don't do well this time, I'll be kicked out. You can't blame my mother, it's mainly because I'm too beautiful. Lin Yuhsan said confidently, my mother will naturally worry about the boys who approach me. I like how confident you are. Li Fan said as he looked at Lin Yuhsan's house. The rooms in this kind of tube-shaped apartment were not big, about 20 square meters in total. There were no bedrooms, only 2 military beds in the living room, which looked very shabby. There was no furniture in the room, only a small table with Lin Yuhsan's books on it. There was a small cabinet next to it, and on top of it was an induction cooker that had been used for God knows how long. It was probably a small kitchen. The house was so shabby that it did not even have a toilet. There was only a public toilet downstairs. What did you mean when you said you were going to be fired? As if noticing Li Fan's gaze, Lin Yuhsan felt a little embarrassed. She quickly changed the topic to attract Li Fan's attention. Sigh, let's not talk about it. The school is now at loggerheads with me. Li Fan knew what Lin Yuhsan was thinking, so he continued to talk about it. Today, I beat up the little tyrant, Hua Dehong. I bet the principal hates me to death, ha ha ha. You! What have you done? Lin Yuhsin was on the verge of breaking down. You're still stirring up trouble at a time like this. Didn't we agree not to let you cause trouble? It can't be helped. Who told him to hit by Lin Luo? Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. In my place, whoever beats up my brother, I will definitely fight back. However, the school currently has no evidence of me hitting someone, so I can only suffer a loss. Chang Chuanxi is waiting for me to fail the exam and then kick me out of the school. According to the school rules, there are a total of 6 exams after the second year of high school. If you fail 5 subjects, you will be expelled. Lin Yuhsin recalled the school rules. You're in the liberal arts class. History, geography, politics, and the 3 main subjects. Which one are you best at? History. Li Fan still had something to be proud of. I used to study history well, but I didn't study it seriously. What's the worst? Mathematics. Even now, I feel like I'm reading a book from heaven. I can understand. After all, your intelligence is limited. Lin Yuhsin nodded. There's a gap between you and someone like me. You can't blame yourself. Miss Lin, in your eyes, is everyone in this world except you ugly and idiotic? Li Fan finally couldn't help but ridicule. I'm not like what you're saying. That's a kind of sick heart. Lin Yuhsin corrected Li Fan's statement. I'm just being realistic because I'm indeed smarter than the average person. My IQ is 140. I've tested it before. What's yours? How would I know? As long as it's not 250. Li Fan didn't care about this. That, Lin Yuhsin, which subject should we review first? There are still 5 days before the exam. Let's review 2 subjects every day. Lin Yuhsin gave him a bunch of exam papers. We need to do a surprise attack and undergo a devilish training. Then why do we have to do the exam papers? Li Fan had a bitter look. We're a man and a woman alone in a room. Why do we have to do something as boring as writing the exam papers? Otherwise, what else do you want to do, pervert? Lin Yuhsin glared at Li Fan. These are the mock exam papers that I've collected. The questions on them are all typical questions. Moreover, the probability of these questions appearing in the exam is very high. As long as you can answer these questions, I guarantee that your results will be greatly improved. Believe me, I'm an expert in this aspect. After all, Lin Yuhsin often tutored others. Since she was so confident, Li Fan decided to believe in her. Alright then, Li Fan had no other choice but to pick up an English exam paper. This. What does it mean? Looking at the English exam paper, Li Fan only felt like he was looking at an ancient martial arts secret book. This is very simple. I'll teach you some common words first. Memorize them. Then, I'll teach you some common grammar. It's like a formula. You'll naturally understand it after you connect it with the context. This small table was very low. There wasn't even a chair. The 2 of them were pressed against the table, kneeling and facing each other. Lin Yuhsin was teaching Li Fan. She didn't notice that she was very close to him. Her forehead was almost touching Li Fan's forehead. Li Fan could smell the delicate fragrance of a virgin. It was really easy to disturb a person's mind when it entered his nose. This Lin Yuhsin knew that she was beautiful, but she didn't pay attention to it. 2 little people appeared in Li Fan's mind. One had a little tail, and the other had a little wing. The little person with the little tail pulled Li Fan's ear and urged, "What are you waiting for? Push her down." The little person with the little wing immediately clapped her hands and said, "Okay, okay. Fuck, she's still so shameless." Li Fan shook his head, dispelling these messy thoughts. This grammar is applicable here. Do you remember it? Naturally, Lin Yuhsien didn't know about Li Fan's thoughts. She was still very focused during the lesson. Ah. Sorry, I didn't listen, Li Fan said honestly. Li Fan. You're the one who needs to make up for the lesson. I've pushed back a few lessons to help you. Why aren't you more serious? Lin Yuhsien was a little angry. Li Fan couldn't think of any other excuse at the moment, so he could only answer honestly. That. Your body smells so good. I was mesmerized. Chapter 76. Lin Yuhsien's face suddenly turned red as she looked at Li Fan. Li Fan was ready to face the storm, but unexpectedly, Lin Yuhsien took a deep breath and asked in a low voice. That. What? Do I really have a fragrance on me? Lin Yuhsien unexpectedly asked. Why can't I smell it? Of course. Li Fan turned into Professor Li at this time and said seriously, it's not that you can't smell it, but you've been smelling it for more than 10 years, and your sense of smell has adapted to this smell. As the saying goes, staying in the room of orchids for a long time, one doesn't smell its fragrance. This is the truth. Really? Lin Yuhsien was a little curious, why didn't I know? Dr. Lin, it's not enough to just study well, you have to learn everything. Li Fan very seriously reminded Lin Yuhsien, as a successor of the 21st century, you can't be partial to a subject. I'm doing this for your own good. Damn you, you know so much about this kind of thing. Lin Yuhsien fiercely rolled her eyes at Li Fan, you don't even put your heart into studying. That's true, I shouldn't criticize Dr. Lin, I'm also a serious partial to a subject. Li Fan lightly hit himself, I have to punish myself, how can I not take the lead? Partial to a subject, your sister. You call that partial to a subject? Hurry up and do the questions. Lin Yuhsien also reached out and gently patted Li Fan's arm, don't waste my time. Humph. With that, she also opened a book by Freud, The Analysis of Dreams, and read it with relish. Why are you still reading this book, isn't this superstition? Li Fan looked up and glanced at the title of the book as he answered the questions. You're just like my bro, Huang Lei. He chases after me every day to interpret my dreams, saying that I've been acting like a villain recently. This has nothing to do with superstition. Lin Yuhsien immediately corrected Li Fan's thoughts. The Analysis of Dreams is a very logical book. It's different from feudal superstitions. That friend of yours must also be unreliable. I have scientific evidence for this. Is that for real? Is he really that amazing? You don't believe me? I'll help you test it. Lin Yuhsien closed the book and looked at Li Fan seriously. Tell me, what kind of dreams have you had recently? Through your dreams, I can help you analyze your psychology. It's not convenient to say, what's the big deal? I'm the doctor now, and you're the patient. Lin Yuhsien said in a serious manner, don't be shy. Just tell me your dreams. All right. Li Fan clenched his teeth. I've been having an erotic dream recently. Pfft. Lin Yuhsien was drinking water, but when she heard this, she immediately spat it out. Then, you continue with the questions. My mum will be back in 2 hours. Lin Yuhsien picked up the book in a panic. Li Fan curled his lips. I told you not to say it, but you still ask. But what does a erotic dream have to do with acting like a villain? It must be that fellow Huang Lei talking nonsense again. That mouth of his could run a train. Li Fan shook his head and continued with the questions. According to the method that Lin Yuhsien taught him, he felt that he could understand some of the questions that he couldn't understand in the past. as expected of Lin Yuhsin. Her method was really reliable. Li Fan felt that there were a lot of blockages in his body, and Lin Yuhsin had poked through them. This analogy might not be very good, but it should be the general meaning. Li Fan continued with the questions smoothly. Occasionally, he would ask Lin Yuhsin for help when he came across some questions that he couldn't understand. Lin Yuhsin was also very patient. No matter what kind of question it was, she would explain it to Li Fan seriously. Seeing Lin Yuhsin like this, Li Fan was also embarrassed to be distracted. He studied more seriously, and his efficiency was quite high. He was almost done with this set of English papers. Not bad. You're quite smart. Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan's questions. Since you're so smart, why are your results so bad? I also don't know. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Probably because I wasn't smart enough in the past. He didn't know that after practicing martial arts, his mind had become more flexible. As the saying goes, qi flows through the whole body, and the beer appears. Now that Li Fan had opened up all the qi channels in his body, the blood flow in his body became smoother, and the blood supply to his brain increased. Naturally, it made him a lot smarter. Not to mention other things, Li Fan could remember a lot of the content after it was said or seen once. Although it couldn't be compared to having a photographic memory, it was almost the same. Now that he had a good teacher like Lin Yuhsin to teach him, Li Fan naturally learned quickly. This set of revision plan was tailor-made by Lin Yuhsin for Li Fan. She didn't expect that the results would be so obvious. The first few English papers were still a little difficult for Li Fan to do, and he puffed and puffed. But towards the end, it became smoother and smoother. Although it couldn't be said to be 100% correct, it was a big improvement compared to before. This made Lin Yuhsin look at him in a different light. If that's the case, maybe Li Fan's results this week would really improve. Not bad. Do a set of papers and see how many points you can get. Lin Yuhsin took out a new set of papers and placed it in front of Li Fan. This set of papers is similar to the college entrance exam papers. Try it. Alright, come on. Let's fight for 300 rounds. Fight your sister. Lin Yuhsin urged, hurry up and do it. We don't have much time left. This sounds really evil, Li Fan chuckled and began to do the questions. From Li Fan's point of view, this set of papers was much easier. He felt that he could answer most of the questions. Come on, let's get to work. Li Fan buried his head in answering the questions. Lin Yuhsin stopped reading and sat beside Li Fan to watch him do the papers. Lin Yuhsin's expression became more and more interesting. This set of papers was based on the college entrance exam. The full score was 150 points. Although Li Fan didn't answer all the questions correctly, he could basically score more than 90 points. This was a huge improvement compared to his usual performance. 90 points was already a pass. There's a saying that if boys study hard, they will improve quickly. Could it be true? Lin Yuhsin was puzzled. Suddenly, there were footsteps coming from outside. Oh no, my mom is back. Lin Yuhsin panicked. The house was only so big. There was nowhere to hide. The window was also a small ventilation window. The area was very small. Only a child could barely squeeze through. An adult like Li Fan couldn't squeeze through. Quickly hide. Where the fuck can I hide? Li Fan didn't know what to do. You can chop me up and hide in the fridge. Hide on the bed. Lin Yuhsin suddenly pointed to the camp bed. Chapter 77. At the moment, there was no other way. Li Fan had to climb onto the bed, lift the quilt, and hide under it. Lin Yuhsin also hurried to catch up, took off her school uniform, and only wore a white t-shirt inside, lying on the bed with the quilt covered. From the outside, Lin Yuhsin looked like she was sitting on the bed reading a book. The camp bed was really too small. In order not to fall, Li Fan could only hug Lin Yuhsin's waist tightly, leaning on her body. Lin Yuhsin could even feel Li Fan's breathing, although it was very steady, it still made her a little itchy. Not only that, Li Fan's hand touching her waist also made her a little uncomfortable. But now, there was no other way. If she was really discovered, then everything would be terrible. Mom's daily routine was to cook first, then go to the public toilet downstairs. As long as I hold on until Mom finished cooking, then let Li Fan take the opportunity to leave. That's right, hold on, as long as I hold on. However, it wasn't like she and Li Fan didn't get along. Something like this had happened twice. Why? Lin Yuhsin, you are a person who believes in science, how can you have superstitious thoughts? There was no way he and Li Fan were incompatible, humph. No, that's not what I mean. I don't believe in such pseudoscience. That's right, the door was opened. Lin Yuhsin's mother was called Yuan Chunli, she was dressed simply, with a trace of a busy atmosphere. Mom, you are back. Lin Yuhsin's voice was slightly trembling, and Yuan Chunli looked at her daughter. You rarely take the initiative to greet me, what's wrong today? No, nothing. I just miss Mom. Lin Yuhsin tried her best to calm down, but Li Fan, don't move your hands. You must be hungry. Business isn't too good tonight, so I came back early. You can continue reading, I'll help you prepare the meal. After tidying up, Yuan Chunli walked to a small cabinet and used the induction cooker to cook noodles for Lin Yuhsin. I heard that there will be another relocation in the next 2 days. Yuan Chunli was preparing dinner while talking to Lin Yuhsin. I wonder if you can increase the price this time. I hope so. I also want to live in a bigger house with Mom. Lin Yuhsin pressed Li Fan's hand against her thigh. This fellow, if he continued to touch her, he would be crossing the line. But Li Fan actually didn't want to touch her, he was just out of breath and wanted Lin Yuhsin to open the blanket a little. But Lin Yuhsin covered the blanket tightly like a tortoise stew, airtight. If this continued, he would probably suffocate to death. Li Fan's brain was lacking oxygen, and it was very uncomfortable. He had no other way, and he didn't dare to move too much. His hand was pressed, so he could only open his mouth and use his teeth to lightly bite Lin Yuhsin's thigh. Ah! Lin Yuhsin suddenly exclaimed, and Yuan Chunli hurriedly looked over. What's wrong, Moon Immortal? Are you not feeling well? No. I just think that no matter how big the house is, as long as I can live with Mom, I'll be satisfied, Lin Yuhsin hurriedly said, but it was from the bottom of her heart. Sigh. If only your dad didn't have that illness. Yuan Chunli sighed, what a sin. The little money we have at home, and we used it to treat him, and it still didn't cure him. He must have done something evil in his past life, that's why he's like this now. Not only did he do it himself, but he also dragged our daughter into it. No, I still have to go to the temple and ask a master to enlighten us. Mom, that's just superstition. Don't believe it. Lin Yuhsin used one hand to press down on Li Fan's head to stop him from biting. At the same time, she said in a panic, I will definitely get into the best medical college and university, and then cure Dad's illness. It must have been hard on you, Yuan Chunli said as she prepared food, but I heard that being a psychiatrist is quite profitable, and they charge by the minute. It's a very promising career. Mom. I didn't become a psychiatrist for money. You're still young, so you don't know how important money is. In short, becoming a psychiatrist will give you the opportunity to get in touch with people from the upper class. When the time comes, find a rich man, and then marry him. I've already thought about it, my son-in-law must have the qualifications. Even if he doesn't drive a Land Rover, he must live in a 3-story bungalow. Mom! What are you talking about? Isn't this selling my daughter? Mom is old, and her ideas may be a bit outdated, but it's for your own good. This is all from my experience. Yuan Chunli finally finished preparing the noodles, and she placed it on the table that Lin Yuhsian used for studying. Don't run around with those poor guys, except for their mouths full of sweet nothings, they can't give you anything else. With that, Yuan Chunli went out to the toilet. Lin Yuhsian heaved a sigh of relief, and then lifted the quilt. Hey, hurry up, my mom is out. But Li Fan didn't move, and when Lin Yuhsian looked down, he had already fainted. Li Fan, what's wrong with you? Lin Yuhsian was shocked. Li Fan was still alive and kicking. What's wrong with him? Oh no. Could it be that he was suffocated by me? Oh my God, what should I do? Li Fan, you can't die. Various thoughts flashed through Lin Yuhsian's mind. That's right, CPR. She had no other way, and could only try CPR on Li Fan. Now wasn't the time to be shy, and Lin Yuhsian recalled the CPR method. She laid Li Fan flat, then gently opened his mouth, and slowly moved her little mouth forward. This is CPR, not kissing. Lin Yuhsian, don't have any thoughts that you shouldn't have, to save a life. At this time, I can't hesitate. Saving a life is more important. Lin Yuhsian finally touched Li Fan's mouth, and she transferred her breath into Li Fan's mouth. Then she raised her head, and pressed a few times on Li Fan's chest, and the camp bed started to shake. Lin Yuhsian blushed, and once again lowered her head to transfer air to Li Fan, repeating this a few times. As a martial artist, Li Fan was very thirsty for oxygen, and with a few mouthfuls of oxygen entering his mouth, his strong cardiopulmonary function was activated once again. His brain also woke up, but when he felt Lin Yuhsian's soft lips, Li Fan couldn't bear to tell her that he was already awake. At this time, the room door suddenly opened, and Yuan Chunli looked at her daughter who was kissing Li Fan's mouth in surprise. Lin Yuhsian was also stunned. Oh no. This is really the end. Now, how can I explain it? Could it be that, Mom, there's nothing between us, and I'm just giving him CPR on the bed? Chapter 78. At this moment, Li Fan suddenly raised his hand and snapped his fingers. The spirit monkey escaped. When Yuan Chunli's gaze fell on his fingers, Li Fan's figure suddenly disappeared like a bubble. Yuan Chunli stretched out her hand and rubbed her eyes. Her daughter sat on the bed alone and looked at her in surprise. Looks like I'm really getting old, Yuan Chunli sighed softly. I'm starting to have presbyopia. Mom, what are you talking about? You're not old. You're still young and beautiful. Lin Yuhsian was also very surprised. How could Li Fan disappear in the blink of an eye? It was really surprising. This man. Could it be that he knew some kind of magic? Hurry up and come down to eat. The noodles are going to get cold. Yuan Chunli thought that she was seeing things just now. Lin Yuhsian also went down the stairs. The mother and daughter began to enjoy their simple dinner. At this moment, Li Fan had already flipped over and landed on the roof of the tube-shaped apartment. Fortunately, he had the spirit monkey to escape with the ape strike. Otherwise, he would have been caught and exposed. Even if nothing happened, something would have happened. However, he did not expect Lin Yuhsian's mother to be so materialistic. Perhaps it had something to do with their family background. After all, Lin Yuhsian's family was not very good. Listening to the conversation between the mother and daughter, Li Fan could roughly guess that the reason Lin Yuhsian was so desperate to learn psychology was to treat her father who was mentally ill. Her father was probably locked up in some mental hospital. It was a lot of money. No wonder her mother had to get up early and return late to sell pancakes. Look at her mother. How responsible she was. Then look at her unreliable parents. They just went out to play and sold their son just like that. Li Fan secretly clenched his fists on the roof. His face was full of tears. Just when Li Fan was secretly depressed, a figure suddenly jumped up from the tube-shaped apartment. This figure was a little familiar and spoke with a Hunan accent. "Oh my God, I finally found you." Li Fan took a look under the moonlight. This guy was none other than one of Murong Ying's suitors, Liao Bing. At this time, Liao Bing was still the same as before. He was wearing a familiar coat, and his hands were huge with calluses on his palms. Li Fan did not know why, but he felt a threatening aura from the other party's palm. "You son of a bitch, if I don't kill you this time, my surname isn't Liao." Liao Bing said angrily, "I have mastered the taboo of the thunderclap palm, the 5 thunder bombardment." What's that? Li Fan did not understand these things. Without Murong Ying's explanation, he was illiterate. In short, it's a very powerful kung fu. Liao Bing was flustered and exasperated. There was nothing he could do about a newbie in martial arts. The 5 thunderclap bombardment harms both the user and the opponent. It is a forbidden external martial art in the thunderclap palm. He could only explain a little. Back then, my ancestor used this palm to defeat the invincible in the world. He became the strongest existence in the martial arts world. Later, all the major sects joined forces and defeated my ancestor with a wheel battle. But the damage of this move is too great. My ancestor did not live to 30 years old. Fuck, you are too desperate. Are you willing to live to 30 years old just to beat me? Li Fan was very surprised. Bah. In your dreams. I still want to be with Murong Ying. Liao Bing said hatefully, "This 5 thunderclap bombardment is divided into 3 stages. I have only mastered the first stage, but it still has the power of thunder. It is enough to kill you. Sigh, young man, why don't you listen to my advice?" Li Fan spread out his hands. "I have already said that it is not me who is pestering Murong Ying, but Murong Ying who is pestering me. It is useless to look for me. Why don't you look for Murong Ying and have a fight with her? If you win, you can let her go with you." "Humph, don't give me that." Liao Bing's face turned red. "I can't beat her, but I can beat you. Your 5 animal frolics is useless against me. Remember." Li Fan spread out his hands. "My kung fu is called 5 animals combined attack. I don't care what it is. It is the same as fitness. I will also teach you what a martial artist is. The so-called martial fighters don't practice martial arts, but killing techniques." Liao Bing lifted his leg and kicked the roof of the tube-shaped apartment. The tube-shaped apartment was not sturdy to begin with. With the kick, the red bricks on the roof of the apartment were immediately sent flying, and some of them went straight for Li Fan. Crane strike. Crane flapping wings. Li Fan placed one hand in front of him like a gate, or like a crane flapping its wings. His palm was wrapped with qi, and all the bricks in front of him were knocked away. His movements were clean and neat, as if it was natural. Liao Bing was slightly surprised. Different from the last fight, Li Fan's movements seemed to be more refined. At this time, Li Fan did not look like a martial artist who had just entered the profession. Instead, he looked like a veteran who had practiced for many years. I don't believe it. I have practiced martial arts for 15 years. How could I be weaker than a rookie like you? Liao Bing followed the bricks and dashed to the front of Li Fan. At the same time, he slapped his palm toward Li Fan's face. 5 Thunder Bombardment. At this moment, true chi flowed on Liao Fan's palm, turning it red as if it was burning. The threatening feeling came from this palm. It seemed to be a consummate skill. If this palm fell on his face, even with the protection of true chi, he would have to stay in the hospital for half a month. A thought flashed through Li Fan's mind, I can't take this palm head-on. 5 animals combined attack. The 6th stance. Snake strike. Li Fan's kung fu did not stop at these 5 animals. On the contrary, he was actively creating new martial arts skills. The snake was a very strange animal. They had 2 ways to deal with their prey. One was to use their poisonous fangs to inflict a fatal wound. The other was to use their bodies to strangle their prey. Liao Bing's thunderbolt palm was right in front of him, as if it could turn Li Fan into a fool in the next second. But Li Fan's right hand had already wrapped around Liao Bing's palm, as if it was really like a poisonous snake, entangling Liao Bing's left hand. Liao Bing's left hand could not move forward a millimeter, as if it was caught by an iron clamp. What's going on? Liao Bing was shocked. Li Fan's right hand formed the shape of a snake and aimed at Liao Bing. Snake strike, spiritual snake entanglement. His palm was like the head of a poisonous snake. It spat out its tongue and opened its mouth to bite Liao Bing's throat. Bam! Liao Bing's throat was blocked. His legs went soft and he fell to his knees in front of Li Fan. My God! You! How did you become so strong? Liao Bing finally fell to the ground. Before he fainted, he only had time to say 2 sentences. I surrender. Chapter 79. The Strongest High School Student? In a dark room, a man with a feminine voice is hiding behind the curtain. Yushi, the brocade uniform guard who once attacked Li Fan, kneels outside the curtain without saying a word. You're just a martial artist who has reached the pinnacle of perfection. Why do you have to come out personally? You and the other 3 are all disciples that I have personally taught. Your strength can't be wasted on such childish things. By the way, didn't Li Wenjue just get promoted to Baihu? Let him go. Yushi nods, her figure turns into a black light, then the curtain is lifted, and she disappears from the room. Sigh, it's really hard to manage the pugilistic world now. The feminine man sighs, then there's no more sound in the room, as if there's no one there at all. For the past 2 days, Li Fan has had a rare moment of peace, as if it's the calm before the storm. Hua Dehong is still hospitalized. It's said that he's still in the intensive care unit, probably enjoying the care of a young nurse. Although Chang Chunxi's attitude towards him is still not very good, he doesn't make things difficult for him. There's also no movement from the principal's side, as if Li Fan didn't hit his son. But Li Fan knows that this matter can't be resolved so peacefully. They're definitely brewing some conspiracy, waiting for him to take the bait. Is there a need to guess? They're waiting for this exam. Bai Lin Luo pushes his glasses, while doing the paper in his hand, he says, as long as you fail 5 subjects, I'm afraid you'll be expelled. Although other students often fail 5 subjects, this time it's targeted at you, and the school has a clear rule. It doesn't matter. I'll deal with it when it comes. Li Fan laughed out loud, isn't it just a test? Who's afraid of who's a coward? But your grades aren't that good. Bai Lin Luo looks at Li Fan worriedly, I remember that you usually only pass history. The rest of the subjects are all red. It's different this time. I've been reborn. Li Fan chuckled. Ever since they were discovered at Lin Yuhsian's house, the two of them no longer tutored each other at her house. Instead, they switched to the old library. Although this place was a little remote, it was relatively quiet and no one would disturb him. The only thing he had to worry about was that the school workers would come to check. Fortunately, Lin Yuhsian's identity as the top student in the school was very useful. Whenever the school staff came to check on him, all Li Fan had to do was to hide. When the school staff saw Lin Yuhsian, they would think that she was revising her lessons. They would only remind her to take care of her health and mumble that it would be great if their children could be so hardworking. After that, they would leave. They had agreed to be a couple for a week, and the time was almost up. I don't know what it will be like after a week. Li Fan didn't know how the treatment of his so-called illness was, but his performance had improved significantly. Now that he was doing the papers, he could already understand more than half of the questions. In order to deal with this exam, not only did Li Fan practice martial arts every day after he returned home, he would also do questions and the like. As a man, how could he let a scumbag like Chang Chuanxi look down on him? He wanted to tell Chang Chuanxi that even if he was a poor student, as long as he was given a chance and studied hard, he could still surpass a good student. Every student had their own value. It was wrong to treat them differently. At this moment, Chang Chuanxi walked in with a large pile of papers and said, "This afternoon is a holiday. Tomorrow, there will be a mock exam. Everyone, remember to do your homework." So many papers. Are they all homework? The students all had long faces. It was not easy for them to have a holiday, but before they had the time to be excited, there was already so much homework on their heads. This is only a part of it. Chang Chuanxi patted the large pile of papers. "Later, each class representative, please come to my office and report the rest of the homework. After this mock exam, it will be a holiday. The rest of the homework will be your holiday homework." Oh yeah, the holiday is coming. Finally, we can go out and play. The students were excited. Chang Chuanxi continued, "It will be the provincial joint exam soon. In order to let you get good results in this exam, during the holiday, you will have to go to school for supplementary lessons every day. The lessons will be in the morning, the same as the usual lessons. You can have the afternoon off, but remember to pay 200 yuan for the supplementary lessons." Li Fan raised his hand high. "Teacher Chang, didn't the school ask us to reduce the burden? Why do we have to take supplementary lessons? Why do we have to pay the supplementary lessons? If you don't want to come, you can choose not to. The school won't force you." Chang Chuanxi sneered and looked at Li Fan, "But this is not a problem for you. After all, after this mock exam, you will be kicked out. All the poor students have no value in learning in school. The existence of some people will only drag the students down and smear the reputation of our school." "Teacher Chang, who are you talking about?" Li Fan pretended not to understand. "Isn't it better to say it clearly? As a teacher, how can you point at the mulberry tree and scold the locust tree? This is not a good example, right? I'm only talking about some useless people." Chang Chuanxi knew that if he continued to pester him, there would be no result. Li Fan was obviously a troublemaker. There was no need to bicker with him. Anyway, after the mock exam, he will be expelled. Chang Chuanxi thought so, but Li Fan might not be able to do as he wished. "Come with me to the billiard hall in the afternoon." Li Fan patted by Lin Luo's shoulder. "Aw. I don't know how to play billiard." Bai Lin Luo was a little surprised. He had received strict education from his family since he was young. He had never come into contact with billiard. "I'm not going there to play billiard. It's a business that I bought. Li Fan said proudly, you're already my dog-head advisor, so I have to go see him no matter what. Can you change the way you address me? Bai Lin Luo was not very happy, useless advisor. It sounds so low. Then I shall confer you the title of Guardian Mage. Li Fan casually gave him a title. How is it? Is it high and mighty? It feels like I have contracted a pond. Forget it, I'll be the useless advisor. Bai Lin Luo sighed, or you can just call me Little Four Eyes in the future. Four Eyes advisor, that's it then. Li Fan laughed, in the future, you will be my brain. As Li Fan was laughing, he received a message from Huang Lei. Big brother, things are not looking good. Come to the billiard hall. What happened again? Li Fan was a little helpless. It had just been 2 days of peace and there was a huge wave of trouble. Let's go and take a look after school. Hope nothing happened. Chapter 80. When Li Fan enters the billiard hall, he immediately sees a huge Guan Yu. He was stunned. What the fuck? What's going on? This Guan Yu is at least 2 meters tall. He is holding a huge crescent moon sword in his hand and is glaring at him. If not for the fact that this guy is a plastic sculpture, Li Fan would have kicked him. Lei, what is this situation? Li Fan shouts while Bai Lin Luo is curiously looking around. As a good student, this is the first time he comes to this kind of place. His heart is filled with novelty. At this time, Huang Lei is sitting behind the table and counting the money. It is all dollar by dollar. He does not know how much he has earned. These 2 days, the billiard hall has started to hold a league tournament. There are many people signing up. Li Fan does not care about the accounting problem. He leaves it to Huang Lei to handle. Big brother, you are here. Huang Lei stuffed a handful of banknotes into the drawer and locked it. Then, he looked at Li Fan with a bitter expression. Let me introduce. This is Bai Lin Luo. His nickname is Four Eyes. He will be our partner in the future. Aw. Big brother, don't tease me. We are doing a world-shaking business. Can you find a student to help? Huang Lei has a look of distrust. Li Fan glares at him, with you around, it is already unreliable. Little Four Eyes is very smart and can help me come up with more ideas. What's there to be afraid of? Big brother, I also have a belly full of ideas. I, Huang Banxian, also have a nickname called Ideas Company. Forget it. Li Fan almost collapsed. Why don't you say that you are Wu Yong, the resourceful star? With your belly full of lousy ideas, I dare not use any of them. Big brother, you are making me sad. Huang Lei put on a long face. I've been serving you with all my heart for the rest of my life. I, Huang Banxian, don't even want my fortune-telling stall anymore. I want to follow Big Brother to conquer the world. For Big Brother to say such things about me, my heart is going to break. Scram! Hurry up and tell me what happened. Li Fan asked. Big brother. Although our business is good, I've only realized in the past 2 days that we're in a terrible mess. Huang Lei was very depressed. If I had known that this was a mess, I wouldn't have urged you to buy this place. What's wrong? Tell me about it. Do you want me to die of anxiety if you don't tell me? Li Fan continued to ask. Only then did Huang Lei reply. Big brother. I really didn't expect this to be Fu Fan's territory. Huang Lei had a bitter look on his face. That Fu Fan is quite a famous elder brother. But he's been keeping a low profile for the past 2 years, so I thought he wasn't here anymore. I didn't expect that his underlings would come to the billiard hall to collect protection fees today. Then give it to him. Li Fan understood this. As long as they didn't cause trouble, it didn't matter if they gave some protection fees every month. Doing business was about making money amicably. There was no need to make things so stiff. Yes, I gave it to him. We agreed on 500 a month. Huang Lei stretched out 5 fingers. I gave it to him. I, Huang Lei, will still abide by this rule. But I didn't expect that after I gave it to him, Hu Yang's men came again. Hu Yang. Which big shot is he? This guy is not to be trifled with, Huang Lei laughed bitterly. This kid used to be one of Fu Fan's underlings. He's also called Hu Ergu. Later on, he made a fortune and did quite well. Now he's competing with Fu Fan for the position of big brother. The two of them are fighting fiercely. In the end, we've suffered. What does their fight have to do with us? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Everyone has to do something. Huang Lei pointed at the empty money box. When this Hu Ergu's men came, they asked for 1,000. They're all local tyrants. I can't afford to offend either of them. So I gave him 1,000. But when I thought about it, big brother, I've really done something wrong this time. Oh. What did you do wrong? I gave too much money. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. If I gave Hu Ergu's men 1,000, Fu Fan's men would naturally be unhappy. Although we're all big brothers now, Hu Ergu used to be Fu Fan's underling. If an underling gets more money than the big brother will definitely be unhappy. When he said that, Li Fan understood. Little brother, you have a good train of thought. Huang Lei sized up Bai Lin Luo. Not bad. There's development. Follow your brother Lei well in the future. Brother Lei, please take care of me in the future. Bai Lin Luo was very polite, but Li Fan slapped Huang Lei's head. Don't call me that. In the future, call me military advisor. Damn. So formal. Huang Lei paused for a moment. Wouldn't it be too cool? I want it to be cool. Li Fan laughed. We're already vulgar enough. I want to make Little Four Eyes into a military advisor like Mei Changsu. I guarantee that women will like him. Big brother, I'm going to refute you. Huang Lei laughed. A man's cool is not about style. I don't have any cool, but I'm still liked by women. Just like that woman last night. I used my 9 secret words incantation to subdue her and make her docile. 9 words mantra. What 9 words mantra? Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo looked at each other. They didn't know what messy thoughts were going through Huang Lei's mind. This is a man's 9 words mantra. Big brother, you must remember it. Huang Lei was a little excited. These 9 words are, big or not, feel good. Call me daddy. Pooh. Bai Lin Luo vomited a mouthful of blood. Obviously, this was the first time he saw Huang Lei being so indecent. Li Fan was fine. It's just that he had a bad headache and was holding his temple. Alright. Lei, I'm convinced. Bai Lin Luo was speechless. Is this place really reliable? Also, what the hell is this Guan Yu? Even if you want to make a statue, you don't need to make it so big. This is the only way to suppress the evil qi here. Huang Lei said hurriedly. This place is really weird. You see, we've only opened for a few days, and we've already encountered such a fucking thing. I don't think the Guan Yu is big enough. We need a bigger one later. Okay. You go find a cesspool and make a 3-story Guan Yu with feces. I guarantee that no one will dare to offend you within a radius of 10 miles. Li Fan sneered angrily. Big brother, this is awesome. why didn't I think of it? Huang Lei thought carefully. What should be used to stabilize such a big feces statue? Damn, I'm just saying. Li Fan almost collapsed. If you really dare to do it, I'll pour the guan yu made of feces down your throat. Ah, big brother, don't say that. Come on, let's play a few rounds. My billiard skills have improved recently. Looking at the two people playing billiards, Bai Lin Luo wiped his cold sweat. When he was muttering whether he should regret it, the door of the billiards hall was suddenly kicked open, and several punks rushed in. Chapter 81. Ah, isn't this Brother Arii? Huang Lei's face immediately filled with smiles. Brother Arii, why did you come to my small place twice today? Thank you for coming. Ah. Little Sue. Why are you here too? Fuck off, you're too shameless. The man who came in had dark skin, a bald head, and in his arms was a 30-year-old woman who was still attractive. Seeing Huang Lei staring at the woman and calling her Little Sue, Arii immediately scolded, "You even dare to flirt with this father's woman, you don't want to live anymore. Arii. Don't be like this. After all, the two of us were in love. Give me some face, don't look for trouble with him." That woman actually opened her mouth and said, but Arii seemed to care about this woman. Being said like this, he was not angry, but instead coaxed her, "Wife, don't be angry, this is two different things." Arii said, "Your matter is your matter, I'm not angry, it's all in the past. But today, we're talking about another matter, wife, don't get involved. But you obviously came with emotions." The woman sighed and said, "Since we've met, why don't we talk about it? Brother Stone, if you have anything to say, just say it. After we deal with our matter, we'll deal with the two of you. Actually, I haven't figured it out yet." Brother Stone was obviously referring to Huang Lei. He looked at the woman with some nostalgia in his eyes. Li Fan was a bit curious. Huang Lei, this kind of indecent man, would be moved by a woman? Little Sue. Why did you leave me in the beginning? Didn't we say that we would be together forever? Brother Stone. I admit, when you were young, you were handsome, talented, and had a big dick. The woman said very bluntly, making Arii's face turn green, so I really loved you at that time. What about now, my dear? Now. You're only left with the size of a dick. The woman was very sad. Brother Stone, our matter ends here. I only have Blackie 2 in my heart now. You should forget about me as soon as possible. As for Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo, they almost vomited blood. What the hell? What the hell is going on? Wife, are you done? Go sit on the side for a while. It's time to talk about the things between us men. He attached great importance to this woman. Even if his face was green, he still coaxed his woman. Okay, be careful not to get hurt. This charming woman was like a source of calamity. She crossed her legs and gently sat on a small sofa at the side. She smiled at Bai Lin Luo, and Bai Lin Luo's legs immediately turned to jelly. He was just a naive young man. He had never seen such a powerful woman before. With this one move, he was at a slight disadvantage. Seeing Bai Lin Luo's reaction, the woman seemed to be a little proud. She looked at Li Fan again and licked her lips. Unexpectedly, Li Fan was indifferent. After all, Li Fan had a superb beauty like Muronging in his home. Although the woman was somewhat charming, she could not enter Li Fan's eyes. Surrounded by Muronging, Murong Ai, and a beauty like Lin Yuhsin, Li Fan's appetite was also raised. Seeing that Li Fan was unexpectedly unmoved, the woman was slightly surprised. Huang Lei, do you know why I'm here? Blackie too stood in front of Huang Lei, one hand constantly poking his chest as he questioned. Brother Arii, logically speaking, I'm just a small character who runs a small business. Huang Lei sighed. We really can't afford to waste time with you gods fighting above. Today's matter was also not handled well by me. How about this, I'll give Brother Arii another 500. I hope Brother Arii will accept it. Fuck off, are you trying to send a beggar away? Blackie too was not satisfied. Give me 5,000. Otherwise, don't open this billiard hall. 5,000. Brother Arii, you're being a bit unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable, motherfucker. Blackie 2's temper was very bad. What happened just now made him very angry. It was impossible to say that he did not want to take this opportunity to vent. Especially this time, he was representing Fu Fan. If he did not teach Huang Lei a good lesson, how could Fu Fan still be the big brother here? Killing the chicken to warn the monkey, he could only blame Huang Lei for his bad luck. Brother Arii, don't mess around. Where am I going to get you 5,000? This small shop just took over, there's no profit yet. I don't fucking care. If you don't give me money, then don't open. Smash it for me. Blackie 2 shouted. A sturdy little brother behind him immediately carried a baseball bat, wanting to smash the place. His metal baseball bat was about to fall on a billiard table, but at this moment, a hand suddenly stretched out from the side and grabbed the bat. Brothers, I'm the boss here, and also Huang Lei's big brother. Li Fan lowered his voice, but there was a hint of anger in his voice. If you have something to say, don't you think you should talk to me first? You? Huang Lei's big brother. Blackie 2 could not help but laugh. Huang Lei, you're really going backwards. Now you're starting to recognize a little bastard as your big brother. Why don't you recognize me as your grandfather? I promised to give you food to eat, how about it? Fuck off. When Huang Lei heard this, he immediately took out his switchblade. If you fucking say a word about my big brother again, I'll fight you. Lei, don't be impulsive. Let's talk first. Li Fan said. Talk a few rounds. There's nothing to talk about with a little bastard like you. Smash. Blackie 2 had a belly full of anger, and now he wanted to release this evil fire. As soon as he gave the order, the man who was holding the baseball bat in Li Fan's hand immediately shouted, "Let go of me." With that, he slapped Li Fan's face. Slapping the mouth was a common trick used by punks. The psychological blow was greater than the physical blow. But for Li Fan, this trick had no effect. He gently moved his head to the side, avoiding the punk's slap. At the same time, his right hand moved forward and directly grabbed that punk's throat. Ape strike. Li Fan closed his palm. That huge grip almost broke the punk's throat. To deal with these ignorant punks, Li Fan must be ruthless. He raised an arm and lifted the 1.7-meter-tall hooligan above his head. No matter how the hooligan struggled and kicked, he didn't let go. I don't know what you hoodlums are up to. But if it affects my survival, then even a rabbit will bite. With that, Li Fan pressed his palm to the side. Bang! This punk's head smashed through the wall, and his whole body was embedded in the wall, hanging on it. When an expert makes a move, it's easy to tell. Li Fan neatly took care of the hooligan, which made the other people's eyeballs almost fly out. This student. Who the hell is he? Chapter 82. This is my, Huang Lei's, big brother. Huang Lei immediately proudly said, the strongest high school student, Li Fan. Fuck your mother, stop bragging, I'm still the strongest emperor. A bully obviously didn't believe in Li Fan's fighting strength. He suddenly pulled out a watermelon knife from his chest and chopped down at Li Fan's head. These bullies were very young and didn't know how to control their strength. In addition, this bully obviously wanted to make a contribution in front of He, so this knife went straight for Li Fan's head without any hesitation. But who was Li Fan? How could he be cut by such a childish knife technique? He leaned forward and hit the bully's lower abdomen with his elbow. This bully immediately spat out a mouthful of acid. Li Fan's left hand caught the falling watermelon knife. The blade flashed and cleanly pressed on He's neck. He only saw a blur in front of him, followed by a cold feeling on his neck. The cold air on the blade had already seeped into his skin. But He didn't believe that a student would dare to kill someone. Chop, if you have the ability, then chop. He sneered, I admit that you know some kung fu, but do you have the courage to be a big brother? Don't joke with me, quickly go back to class, little brat. Before he finished his words, Li Fan's knife moved. His knife swiped and He felt a chill on his arm. Then, in his eyes, a broken hand flew out in the air and fell to the side with blood. Whose hand is this? Why does my arm hurt so much? He looked down and found that his wrist was bleeding. That familiar hand had disappeared. Ah! My hand. He's vision turned black. The intense blood loss made him scream again and again. Li Fan's finger poked his shoulder twice, and his blood loss immediately stopped. But the broken hand could not come back. This knife is to teach you a lesson. Li Fan spoke casually, as if he had just chopped off the arm of a toy. The next time you talk to me like that, I'll chop off your head. Huang Lei was a little stunned. He didn't expect his elder brother to be so decisive. Although he had made up his mind to follow Li Fan, he had always been worried about how his big brother, a student, would be able to adapt to the bloody life of a hooligan. But now, his big brother had undoubtedly convinced him. Chopping off a hand is considered intentional bodily harm. Bai Lin Luo muttered to himself, fortunately, no one else saw it except for these people. Li Fan was wearing a pair of black billiard gloves, so he didn't leave any fingerprints. The knife was brought by a hooligan, and only the owner's fingerprints were on it. Moreover, they were all hooligans, so the police could suspect that their testimony was false. But Li Fan is just a high school student. If I find some people and make a unified statement, saying that it was a fight between a few hooligans, who chopped themselves like this, and then deliberately blackmail Li Fan for money, it should work. The success rate, 85%. If Li Fan and I act more realistically, it should be 90%. If we hire a better lawyer, it should be 95% success rate, Huang Lei's cold sweat dripped down. Bai Lin Luo's muttering undoubtedly scared him. This high school student. Seeing such a bloody scene, he wasn't afraid at all, instead, he was calculating how to let his big brother escape. He suddenly understood why his big brother wanted to find this little Four Eyes to be his strategist. In just a short moment, when everyone was still shocked by Li Fan chopping people, he had already thought so far ahead. Did you hear that? Li Fan squatted down and gently placed the knife in front of He. Even if I chopped you today, it would be in vain. I put the knife in front of you, if you have the guts, you can chop me back. I was wrong. He was not stupid, he was able to get to where he was today, and he was also Fu Fan's trusted aide, which proved that he was a smart person. Brother Fan. I was blind. Thank you for sparing my life. You're welcome. Li Fan stretched out his hand and patted his face. This hand, just take it as a lesson you've learned. Tell Fu Fan, this billiard hall is my turf, we should mind our own business. If he annoys me, I don't mind talking to him. He is a big brother, I'm just a student, I don't have a family or a job, he can't afford to risk his life. I will pass it on. Hay nodded, then Brother Fan. Sorry for disturbing, we'll leave now. Go, don't let me see you again. Li Fan waved his hand, Hay immediately led his group and ran away. Looking at their fleeing figures, Huang Lei suddenly felt that from today onwards, another life for Li Fan had officially begun. Phew. This group of people finally left. Li Fan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief, and then sat on the chair next to him. How was it, did I act like a big brother just now? Fuck, big brother, was that all you're acting just now? Huang Lei was shocked. Not really. Anyway, I learned it from watching some movies and TV series. Li Fan also became serious, and very seriously said, Lei, Four Eyes, from today onwards, we're all grasshoppers on the same rope. We're all in this together, we're all in this together. And these people, if I'm not ruthless, they'll ride on top of our heads and shit. Big brother is right. I'm determined to follow Big Brother for the rest of my life. Huang Lei immediately said, Big Brother is in charge of building a career, I'm in charge of being lawless. Don't be ridiculous, I don't want to be in the underworld. Li Fan laughed, the underworld is still the third rate, but money comes fast. I just want to make use of this as a platform for us brothers to do something big. But what if Fu Fan retaliates? Huang Lei couldn't help but mutter, this big brother still has some connections, if he finds trouble with us. Things won't be easy to handle, don't worry, he won't find trouble with us. Bai Lin Luo laughed, and pushed his glasses, I guess, tonight or tomorrow night, he will come to us. Not to find trouble, but to rope us in. Really? Huang Lei was stunned as he listened. He felt that his brain was not enough to process the information. If I were Fu Fan, I'll definitely bring more than 100 brothers and directly destroy this place. So, with your brain, you can't be the big brother. Bai Lin Luo smiled. It doesn't matter, as long as I can be Big Brother's henchman. Huang Lei was very satisfied, then, Big Brother, what do we do next? Clean up this place, if Four Eyes is right, Fu Fan should come. Li Fan picked up a billiard cue, continue to play billiards, do business, and see if Fu Fan will appear. Deal. Although Huang Lei readily agreed, he muttered in his heart, Fu Fan is a real big brother, will he come to see Li Fan? You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.